Greetings and welcome to a Friday edition of the Shotgun Start. It is December 19th. Andy, how we doing?
Brendan, I'm doing all right. You know, I just got to an Airbnb and the Wi-Fi is GB Packers with the password Packers1. My Bears might be moving to Indiana. Things could be better.
My Wi-Fi cut out there and it came back and you said, my Bears might be moving to Indiana. But I think that's the only detail. I heard something about Wi-Fi and Packers, but that's the only detail I needed. You are not from, I believe, the Indiana side of Chicago. So now I'm wondering, are you just a Milwaukee sports fan? Are you closer to Milwaukee, closer to Green Bay? Is that the home team now as you moved? I love the governor of Indiana, whoever his name is, Mitch or Joe or whatever he is, just some suit. They know we'd welcome a second great team to the state of Indiana, just like the Bears and Colts being this like two peas in a pod just seems like a disaster. I'm
convinced that Kevin Warren woke up at 4 a.m. like he does every day.
Put some water on his face.
While he was lying in bed for an hour, not sleeping, just lying in bed for an hour after his wake up, which is part of his 18-hour workday.
Laying
in bed is part of his 18-hour workday. I'm convinced that he hatched this plan. This is a way we're going to leverage Illinois.
Yeah.
And we're going to get them to do what we want. Is on Bears-Packers week, the week of the biggest game we've had in 7 years. I'm going to write an open letter to fans talking about how we might move to frickin' Indiana.
It's such, pardon my French, bullshit. It is such bullshit that you're talking about leverage play. These owners don't care about you, the fans. They don't care. They see you as a monetizable item. And it's so ridiculous. And they take a dump in the middle of a big, exciting week to be a Bears fan, in the middle of a big, exciting season to be. I'm impartial to this. Like, obviously, my own team is moving from a great downtown lakefront property where you can walk from the bars and all these different community tailgating lots to some hunk of concrete that's near the airport. And it's like abandoned for a reason. And it's like 30 minutes outside of town. It's awful. It's awful. And the notion of the Indiana Bears is a farce. It's a farce. And Kevin Warren just can't stop stepping on a rake. Even, he's succeeded in spite of him this year. They've succeeded. I don't know. It's just, it's comical. It's amusing to think of it. But I don't know. I feel, is there a bad omen for the Packers game? Bad juju?
I don't know. I think our Ben Johnson's got our boys locked in. I'm not worried. Even though Kevin Warren makes sure that he's in every in the background of every good, better, best.
Very prominently featured, right?
Every single one. I think he got a game ball in one of them.
Of course,
just for being around.
Just for being around. But yeah, this is a big weekend. Hopefully we got a victory Monday.
What's in Gary, Indiana?
Nothing.
Steel mills.
The Jackson 5 are from there. I know that originally.
I've
been through it. Can't say
there's a minor league baseball team.
I believe Darius Garland's from there. Jackson 5 are from there. Yeah. So all right. I mean,
it has had better times. An area that's had better times.
Per Wikipedia, it is the 11th most populous city in Indiana. So anytime that you can move out of one of the biggest cities in the country to the 11th most popular city in Indiana.
That's the thing. Historic building on the lake, to Gary, Indiana.
That's ridiculous. Oh, the Browns are going to a place next to the airport where I have no personal knowledge of it, but it's only known as being an area where all the strip clubs are. I have no personal knowledge. It's just this garbage. That's where we're moving. And Jimmy Haslam will get a cut of every hotel and every order of mozzarella sticks at the mixed-use development outside this, soulless glass building. But yeah.
Well, I would say for you, there's no better time than to jump on the Ravens bandwagon.
I would,
since they are the original Browns.
I would rather jump in front of a moving bus than jump on a rave. It's just a non-negotiable thing.
That was a low blow. That was uncalled for.
Yeah, that's such.
He
that is
suggested I should become a Packers fan.
well, that their proximity.
They didn't
they're at least
steal the
close.
team.
They're at least close in proximity. I would go Steelers would be first, or Lions are closer. You know, that's the same.
Listen, what would Baltimore be if it was in Ohio City? I would ask. You know, and maybe there's no theft whatsoever.
Southwest.
Maybe Baltimore is the Cleveland of Maryland.
You know, we're gonna unpack this in this very episode. This is going to be discussed.
Baltimore's pretty rough and rowdy. I don't know. I mean that in a good, positive way. What'd you think, real quick? You got to go. What'd you think of the Golf Channel games?
You know what? I didn't have much expectation. I didn't really know what was going on. I to be fair, I was I can't tell you. I'll tell you this story. I was sitting in a parking lot watching them, waiting for my daughter and wife to land on their flights to Chicago. Why was I waiting for them when I flew the same day? I forgot to add our dog to our reservation. And it turns out that there's a cap as to the number of pets that they allow on an airplane. And our flight had reached the cap. So I flew out on an earlier flight with the dog on a plane that had space for dogs. We have a little dog. I mean, it goes under the seat.
They need a reservation, isn't it? Luggage? Why do they need a reservation?
I didn't, you know, I think they only allow 4 dogs on a plane.
Oh, I mean, my kids are just trying to wear me down for a dog. This is another bullet I have. It's like, I got to get a reservation. I might not be able to fly with you.
Like, literally can't go anywhere if you have pets. It makes
I'm
going
out.
anywhere awful.
I'm not, yeah. Once
I
I'm
love our
approaching
pets.
Michael Vick territory, but I'm pretty anti getting a dog at this point for my personal situation right now.
I love our pets.
Yes.
But they make travel very challenging. So anyways, I had time. Otherwise I would have been flying, transporting. I had time to watch the first half of the Golf Channel games because I was sitting in a parking lot watching them on my phone with my dog, waiting for my family to get there. And I didn't really know what was going on. I couldn't understand the scoring.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure that the broadcast team understood the scoring either.
Yeah, didn't bother with that. Or the results, like who's actually going to win. Just consuming the product is all I cared about. Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't the worst thing I've watched.
It wasn't.
Golf. And I think that's an important bar to cross. If you aren't the worst thing that I've watched in the moment, if I'm thinking this isn't the worst, there's some barrier. Now, is it perfect? No. I just would love, I think like one of the issues with these things is that they come out the gates and they're so sold and they're so structured that there's no exploration of like figuring out what the best product is. It's hatched and it's like a baby and it's like, this is what you are the rest of your life.
Yeah.
There's no room to grow, to learn how to walk, to learn how to crawl, to learn how to run. These things come out of the womb like it has like a fully sold in a suit baby, if this makes sense. Usually like ready to go to work. Usually
birthed by a television executive, right?
Yes.
Or a producer type from Hollywood or something. Yeah. I thought it was fine. It was long. When I turned on the guide and it's like 3 hours, I started cackling all like 3 hours, 7:30 to 10, and they went over 10:30. I think 7:30 was a pregame show, if I'm being fair.
Well, it went into overtime.
Right, but it was lawn in regulation.
Who won? I don't even know what the final
Scotty in a chip-off. It all came down to a chip-off.
Scotty won, but if you were watching the broadcast without sound on, you wouldn't have known, even if you were watching it with sound on, because Steve Sands was convinced that Rory won, and all of the camera shots were of Rory and his team celebrating and high-fiving. And then they just put up a Scotty Scheffler wins graphic, and I literally yelled, "What?" on the couch.
Well,
I was so lost.
I think Gary Young mismeasured, or he did the math wrong. They got the tape measure out, and he was like, "Oh, you win." And then they're like, "No, it was Lowry, who knows math. I was quicker." He's like, no, I don't think we won. I think he did the math wrong." It was long. I loved that they put some juice into it, as when these things usually get long at these matches with the relay, which everybody seems to love. The players loved, the viewers loved. You got players almost getting domed in the head by balls as they look to like basically putt them as they land. And the 12 or the 14 club thing was fun, right? I mean, those guys, I know it's really hard. It was hard. It was a hard exercise, and Luke Clanton was great. So it provided some excitement at the times where you're usually like, all right, I'm done with this. You know who was too long for? Unsubstantiated? Scotty. Scotty declined media afterwards. He was like, I've been here, whatever, 5-6 hours, allegedly. He's like, I'm good. Oh, another Scotty from somebody on the ground. Apparently, this was, at a Trump place. So security was elevated, I would say, right? Because Trumps were there.
I wasn't aware it was at a Trump place.
I mean, that's the other thing
from
about
the telecast.
It felt like a 3-hour genuflect for political reasons, which is for some sort of calculated reason for some party. I don't know who. You'll get to this. So there's elevated security. And apparently some very important person was hung up by such security. Maybe a participant, not Rory. He was just on the pod. It wasn't him. Participant may have been hung up by security because it's the Trump. Well, just zooming right by comes Scotty Scheffler. He just kind of pulls right through and goes right on in as another participant. And this, I'm thinking, is justice for Officer Gillis. Maybe. And his damaged pants. Maybe Scotty just, comes flying right through.
Reckless
I have
driver.
no particulars. He might have been going 5 miles an hour, but the same security that held up one person was not able to hold up Scotty. So that's my unsubstantiated rumor. I thought it was a good event. I thought it was fine. I kind of enjoyed it. The players seemed into it. It was just a long night, but it had some good kernels of an idea there.
You get anything down on it as they were pumping the DraftKings odds every 5 minutes?
That was comical. It was just an ad for DraftKings for 3 hours. I mean, we had bookmakers tweeting us like, I would not come close to writing any lines for this. And I received no request to do so from anyone in the universe. It's like, all right, well, there you go.
One of my thoughts was like, could one of these exist? Could anything on TV at this point exist without a DraftKings tie-in or a sportsbook tie-in?
FanDuel. I mean, it kind of feels that way. It's just.
And think about telling yourself that 20 years ago, that no sports TV product cannot be put on TV without a betting tie-in, because everything has one on TV now.
I mean, nobody even knows what the competition is, and they're putting lines like plus 220.
The announcers didn't know what was going on.
I had someone tweet at me after I didn't see Brendan's tweet, so I tweeted effectively the same thing, that if you're gambling on the Golf Channel games, you need to call the number. Seriously, you have to call the number.
Yeah.
And some gambling guy tweeted over the top of me being like, "This is a popular joke, but the player prop lines for the driving contest were wildly mispriced, and I went 5-1." It was like, all right, congrats, dude. What do you want?
But they cap you on what you can get.
I'm sure that same guy's gonna.
Yeah,
I'm sure the guy's gonna tweet back at you when he goes 1-5. Next time.
Yeah, right,
he's gonna let you know about his losses.
I'm glad that DraftKings didn't know how to write lines for this made up thing that we had never seen before. I'm glad they were mispriced. Good.
I enjoyed it. The grade is pass, fail, pass.
I gotta say, Rory did his captain Luke dirty in the driving contest, putting LD up against Luke Clanton. That was.
Well, I mean, could it be a sacrificial lamb situation, right?
That's what I'm saying.
Cannon Potter, Luke.
He got done dirty. He got shipped out there with an impossible mission.
I mean, yeah, I did find Shane missing the grid, being self-deprecating about it for the first 5 or whatever he hit. This was funny. That challenge wasn't very enthralling relative to the others. So
that's the thing. This is the thing. Everybody thinks that long drives are the thing that make golf interesting. Right. This was proof. The driving portion was the most boring portion of the whole thing, and I didn't even see the relay race that everybody loved.
I would go.
Did I see something that somebody suggested Rory could run a 440?
The PGA Tour suggested that Rory could run a 4.440. With all due respect,
you think he could be a scat back in the NFL?
With all due respect, if Rory McIlroy runs a 4.440, I'll take whatever bet you want. I'll do anything.
He could be an Irish Darren Sproles, just hiding in plain sight that we don't know about. I mean, we don't know. I enjoyed it. Let the tour lean into it. Let them tweet dumb stuff like that. But it was fun to see him scamper. All of them.
That's what TGL said. TGL, as we hit on this year review a couple episodes ago, that Rory's team had a wide 49er wide receiver and a scat back.
Yeah, that's right. So they're on their way. They're on their way. All right, you got to go. We got to go. We're gonna get to your review.
Jump. I've got to record. I got my own mega session of podcast recordings here.
This will be a short one. We'll be back. Nah, maybe not short, but whatever. It'll be...
Is Joseph coming in? Where's the other boy?
He's coming late. He has like the last 2 days of the U.S. Open. So
did you get let down by your fellow boy?
No, he's coming. He's coming for Canada. Because it's big Cam Young week, and then he's coming for the U.S. Open. It's good.
Cam Young failure, right? Didn't he come up short?
All right, okay. Relax.
All right.
Oh, that was Foxy. That was when Foxy took him down.
The playoff that wouldn't end. They couldn't move the tee box. Remember, it was just this terrible,
just chaos.
Yeah. All right.
They just kept making pars.
Yeah. All right. Go with God. We'll catch up with you post U.S. Open. Talk to you.
Hey, bear down. Go Bears.
Good luck. Good luck. All right, PJ, let's get to your interview. It's you and me. We're ready to go. We soldier on. There have been doubters and haters thinking we're not going to get through this. And I want to be clear. Year in review does not mean the full year. Doesn't mean the 12-month calendar. Never has meant that. We're not bailing on some sort of – we've set the precedent, and we're going to stick to it. We may skip the playoffs. We'll see. But I do think we're on track to be through the 4 men's majors at least before Christmas. So – we'll get to the third one this episode.
I didn't think we'd get there, so I'm glad that we are.
I have, of course, I've been saying this at the 18-minute mark. Let's see what we got.
We're gonna try. We're gonna see. We're gonna see. But we start now.
You're up
with Colonial, the Charles Schwab Challenge. Do we really start there though? The answer is no. Monday, as you alluded to at the very, very end of the Rise of Rhea, Monday morning. The Regent tradition is on television. The Regent's tradition gets pushed to Monday due to darkness. Balls flying everywhere, grandstanding everywhere, carts driving over golf balls in the dark because they can't see them. My pick for event of the year. So we wake up, me and you, 8:51 a.m. A gentle reminder that there are at least 4 holes of major championship golf left this morning in Birmingham. You reply to me. No reason to be gentle about it. LFG. We're fired up. We're juiced up. What happens at the Regions? El Pato.
Is this the Monday after the PGA Championship?
It's a Monday
so
after
everybody's ready to just move on, be done with golf. Why is the seniors doing a major opposite the regular tour major?
Nobody knows.
Right,
they had a pro-am with Nick Saban and Riley Green. I remember it was a big thing. People love this one.
Maybe Hugh Freeze, RIP.
Yep.
Who knows? Okay.
You know, did he log it in his gin? We'll have to see. El Pato takes it. Final round 64, finishes it out on Monday morning for his first major championship of his Champions Tour career. My favorite part, the broadcast is actively advising Jerry Kelly to take Lumber into the 18th hole as he needs an eagle to tie to go to a playoff with El Pato. They're actively, Zinger is advising him to just ship it into the grandstand hit 3-wood, which is too much club, but to get a drop up by the green, as that is his best chance of making eagle. They are actively saying on the broadcast
Slam it.
that grandstanding is the accepted method of play.
Which at that hole, we've been told by whatever this course is, Gray. What is the Gray something or other?
Greystone, I think. Greystone Country Club.
That like it is quite penal over that green. Like it's a fall off and down to a water hazard or something, but not with the backboard.
Not with the backboard.
Yeah.
So it is actively being advised. He does not do it. Does not tie. El Pato wins. Also on Monday, Wyndham Clark sincerely apologizes for his behavior yesterday on hole 16. As professionals, we are expected to remain professional even when frustrated, and I unfortunately let my emotions get the best of me. My actions were uncalled for and completely inappropriate, making it clear that I have things I need to work on. I hold myself to a high standard, trying to always play for something bigger than myself, and yesterday I fell short of those standards. For that, I am truly sorry. I promise to be better the way I handle my frustrations on the course going forward, and I hope you all can forgive me in due time. T-Mobile forgives him pretty much immediately. This is 2 days later. So that was Monday.
I highly doubt the sincerely adverb of apology based on what we've seen from Wyndham over the course.
This is not the last instance of Wyndham Clark anger in this very episode.
No, not at all.
T-Mobile tweets over the top. You've got our support, Wyndham, and the good news is that our 5G network is ready for almost anything, even if our signs aren't. So T-Mobile takes this on-course tirade in which their own sign gets destroyed, turns it into a hashtag branding opportunity for 5G.
Barf. So bad. I mean, come on.
Just terrible.
I mean, also, like, you're T-Mobile. You're some whatever billion-dollar telecom company. Like, why do you need to, like, even wade into these waters with, like, let's face it, a guy most people probably have no idea exists, except for golf fans, right? But they're, like, making a thing out of this.
Well, he wears their hats. He breaks their signs. They see it as a total layup
synergy, brand synergies.
You can only imagine that, you know, if he destroyed a SoFi sign, would they have tweeted? Because he's in their commercials. Yeah, like, where is the line here? Sure. So congrats to T-Mobile for that. I think that is something that will stick with me from this 2025 year.
That was bad. To rightfully so, T-Mobile was sort of excoriated for that. Like, this is stupid.
They got popped.
Yeah. Speaking
of lasting sponsorships, Hooters and John Daly agree to a 2-year partnership extension.
I mean, is Hooters still around?
Not in Augusta, Georgia, they're not.
I know. Where is it? I mean, feels like we're a long ways away from the glory days of Hooters. When they're an airline, they're flying, like, they're barely, I don't know. What is it anymore? But they got 2 more years with JD.
They got 2 more years with JD, presumably Little John. We'll see if they break it out this weekend as the PNC. We'll see if they break out the pants this weekend. Dallas sectional qualifying for the U.S. Open is this Monday after the PGA. Sergio Garcia misses. His 25-year streak will end as of this very moment. He later, I believe later this week, puts out a tweet kind of groveling for a special exemption into the U.S. Open, not outwardly asking for it, but saying, unless a miracle happens, my 25-year streak will end, as they have given special exemptions to Tiger in recent years, for example. So Sergio is missing. Getting through there are some recurring characters. R&P, who will come up later, Andy's boy, Rasmus Njergaard Peterson. Johnny Kiefer gets through. Carlos Ortiz, who plays a pivotal role in the U.S. Open somehow, gets through.
He does.
Talor Gooch, DNF, walks off the course after 14 in the first round of 2 on this sectional qualifying. Mm-hmm. So, asterisks everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Ratings from Josh Carpenter.
Right.
For the PGA. CBS draws 4.67 million for the final round, down 4% from 4.958 last year. Xander's win up 5% from 2 years ago. Brooks Koepka at Oak Hill. Final hour drew 6.8 million. Coverage peaked with 6.9 million from 5:45 to 6 p.m. So down a little bit. Obviously, Xander was a thrilling finish. Needed to make that putt on the last hole at Valhalla. You had Hovland in. You had big names on the board. Scotty kind of running away with it at the end. Did not bring the viewers in from year to year. The TGL announces that Motor City Golf Club will begin play in 2027. This is owned by the Hamp boys and the Broncos, the Walton family, who is the Broncos ownership. Everybody is just questioning why the hell this is being announced in May of 2025 if they're not playing until 2027. Nobody has any idea what's going on. But
I mean, yeah. What lasts longer, Hooters or TGL Motor City? I mean,
great question.
Or TGL in general. I don't know. Okay, all right.
But we got that. That was a big piece of news from this week. Bennett Scheffler seemingly comes out on Monday night that Bennett Scheffler stood up for the first time during the ceremony, the trophy ceremony on Sunday at Quail Hollow. So Bennett is getting big social impressions for standing up for the first time. People are very fired up. At the USGA 4-ball, history is made as Mark Dull becomes the first person to win a 4-ball match as a single after his partner has to leave early to attend a kid's graduation. So that is some USGA history there.
That I forgot about that. That's like some real life, mid-am stuff, right? Yeah.
That's pretty
graduation. I gotta go.
Yeah, I gotta go. And he played the next round also as a single, and I believe lost, but would have got his partner back for the semifinals.
Andy had some sort of experience with one of these guys. Maybe the guys who lost, the two guys who lost. But yeah, so a stick. 2-on-1.
Congrats to Mark Dull. The LPGA is at Mayakoba for its inaugural event there. We're wondering what is the saturation point on Mayakoba. Feels like there's been a lot of Mayakoba recently.
Too much Mayakoba.
There's a lot of cave bunkers. People are fired up about the cave bunkers. We're good. We're cave bunker content is at an all-time premium in the last couple of weeks after Liv just bailed from there. Speaking of Liv, Bubba Watson appears on Pat McAfee to promote Live Indy.
Yeah.
Pat reveals that he hates the team or likes the Live team concept, but hates the music. Of all things to be out on, he's out on the music, but he's in on the concept of Live, which feels like a bizarre take, but more power to you, I guess.
Bro.
Good job there. Bubba also attends the Fever game that night and gives Caitlin Clark a signed pink driver.
Congrats to Bubba. I
was not expecting Bubba to come up at all in year in review, but this week,
a few times.
This day had a lot of Bubba on May 20th.
Okay.
Wednesday night, Scotty Scheffler is obviously in the Dallas area for Colonial. He attends a Dallas Stars game and is billed as a 2-time Masters champion 3 days after he wins the PGA. We have a lot of fun with this on
I forgot about
the Friday episode, saying, how did you arrive at this conclusion?
Right in the PGA's own backyard. Frisco, right there. The Dallas Stars could refer to him first and foremost as 2-time Masters champion.
Right in the grill of Visaria. How did this happen? Not 3-time major champion, not PGA champion from 3 days ago, 2-time Masters champion, Scotty Scheffler.
That's so disrespectful to Don. Hey, we had a personal one-on-one call yesterday where you posited that Don was maybe mentioned more on the shotgun start than Rory in the course of 2025.
I think
that's all episodes, Monday, Wednesday, Friday since January. I said that's no way preposterous. I know he was.
I think if we went from May 15th on, I think it's probably close. The Masters kind of maybe ruined my initial take. Kind of forgot the Masters happened, but I don't know, man. We talked about Don a lot. And we're going to talk
no
about
way. There's just no way.
We're going to talk about Don a lot more. I'm just trying to get Don his flowers because he was upstaged in his rightful episode. Which I'm still
you gotta lose yourself in the music.
That's it.
Right.
Speaking of Rory, he commits to the India Championship. So it's a big piece of news this week. Rory's going to India. Rory's being a global player.
The delight of Mr. Munjal.
Mr. Munjal. Honorary Dr. Munjal. Not doctor. Liv announces 4 more duels at 4 more events this year, including Bryson, who did not play in the first one due to some YouTube dispute about this is not going on my channel. I don't want to help everybody else, but Bryson is in for the last 4 duels.
A lot of thirst and only so much water to go around in the YouTube sphere. Okay.
Congratulations to Bryson. Ricky Fowler, Jordan Spieth, Matt Kuchar, and Brett Snedeker received special exemptions into next year's Memorial Tournament. Everybody's loving this on Twitter. Just
next week.
Next week's.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. All right.
Next week's Memorial, the usual suspects get their exemptions. Workday's own Matt Kuchar and Brett Snedeker, and then the 2 usual suspects.
I mean, it's completely insane. It's like the naming rights of a stadium. Like MetLife gets to send in, the place kicker that week is going to be a MetLife middle manager because they paid for the stadium. It's kind of insane. Anyways.
That's, they got the Snoopy Bowl at least. They got their own. I think their deal with the Peanuts probably expired because that doesn't come up anytime soon. But they're putting their thumb on the scale for
what deal with the Peanuts? What are you talking about?
MetLife sponsorship with the Peanuts.
Like that's Peanuts sold in the. Oh, you're talking about the cartoon.
The cartoons.
Yeah. Sure, Charlie.
The cartoons.
Got it.
That was the Snoopy Bowl is the preseason game between the Giants and Jets at MetLife Stadium.
I gotcha.
Rory is skipping the Memorial for the first time since 2017. I'm sure you'll get to this a little bit. But
he didn't call me, Jack. I didn't know. I didn't know
the field list comes out, and Rory's not on it. People are very confused. Major upset at the NCAA Women's Championship as Northwestern beats Stanford. Stanford had not lost a stroke play event all year, and then coughs it up in the final, which is just. We talked about this a little bit on the Wednesday episode of that week because it was an early week tournament, but just wanted to make that note there.
Mm-hmm.
Eamon Lynch reports that the PGA Tour has not spent a single dime of the $1.5 billion from SSG at this point. So everybody's wondering where that money is and what they're planning to do with it.
Well, I mean, they don't know what to do with it is the answer. We know the first big idea was to buy a freaking Marriott across the way. Like what?
Buy the hotel.
There's serious billionaires you're going to buy a Marriott. I think there's hesitancy because whatever they spend it on needs to provide some sort of return on investment to then be paid back or yield some sort of value to the investors. And so you can't just go willy-nilly spending stuff without some thought. So I think there may be some reticence there, or that's why. But go ahead.
No, this is just the first time that it's ever confirmed that they have done nothing. Obviously, we still know to this point that they have done nothing, but this is the first time it gets in front of everybody.
They can't just go start creating a Gold Boy army with it because there needs to be some. Well, that would be ROI.
That would be great if they did. Sure. Please, if somebody out there is listening, Gold Boy Army would be great.
The equity boys are in the hen house now, and they, they got to mind their spending or spend it wisely, I suppose. Go ahead.
Big news of the week: LPGA selects Craig Kessler as commissioner. A lot of big press releases, a lot of big glamour shots of Craig as CEO of the PGA of America, but. Craig Kessler gets tapped this week. He does not start the media blitzkrieg until the next week, seemingly. Not a lot of statements from him, but the news just leaks out here that Craig Kessler is tapped and ready to go.
I mean, I think he did a week with Don at Quail Hollow. I can't do this anymore. Don's big
immediately bails.
I'm out. I can't.
Immediately bails.
Yeah.
Kind of love that. Do you remember what the biggest news of this week was, though? Craig Kessler's great.
Colonial. I don't know. No.
The PGA Tour unveils the fire emojis on the app.
I forgot this was like a.
The PGA Tour will be adding a small new feature to its website and app leaderboards this morning. The hot streak indicator will pop up when players go on a birdie run over a stretch of holes. That's a Josh tweet there. People are loving what we're seeing this week because the glitches are obviously not worked out in the coming weeks here. I have a bunch of these for Canada that end up being hilarious too, but the fire emojis are here to stay. We posit on the Wednesday episode that if you're going to do this, congratulations, great. But if you're a true entertainment product, you have to put up the ice emoji for a cold streak. And they will not be mean to people. But you were on your soapbox saying if you're going to be nice to people, you have to also be mean to people as an entertainment.
It's not even being mean. It's just the reality. What is
like
the world?
Yeah, calling it like you see it.
This guy's playing bad. This guy's playing good. It's not being mean. Sorry, reality. God, reality bites sometimes. All right, go ahead.
No, you're good. Take it away. The Olds have taken over the Colonial field, as you mentioned at the end of last week's episode. David Frost, Corey Pavin,
really old,
and Olin Brown, all of them are 65, are in the field this week for the Charles Schwab Challenge. We set the over-under in January of oldest player to make a start on the PGA Tour at 62.5. So it's smashed. It is smashed, not even close.
Forgot about that over-under.
By years. Not even close. I'll just run through these now. Olin Brown tops out ball speed of 140. He could not reach a par 4 in 2. I believe it's the 4th hole. Could not reach. Goes driver 3-wood and couldn't get there.
I mean, it's not a big ballpark either. I mean, Colonial,
no.
As far as PGA Tour regulars go.
So people are all like loving the fact that Olin Brown is just bunted it out there.
Great player in his day, but he's 65 plus. It's not
Corey
Pavin.
Corey Pavin wins the game within a game by 2 shots. He's 11 over. The other two are 13 over. You guys are making fun of me as I took Corey Pavin with the first overall pick because I have actually seen him play golf recently on the Champions Tour. You guys are mocking me, saying that I know too much. I'm too close to the situation. I've actually watched Corey Pavin play golf in a recent time. Scotty is asked pre-tournament press conference about a potential deal and gives the go ask those guys that KVV alluded to earlier a couple parts ago. This is where that comes up, where he says, go ask those guys. We have a good thing going over here. They left. When they get together, when we all want to come back together, ask them. Go find out wherever they're playing this week and go ask them. Do you remember who else they asked? They asked one other person about, hey, man, what's the status of the deal? What do you know?
Ricky?
Davis Riley.
Why would Ricky? Oh, God.
Davis Riley gets asked, and he just says, I have no idea what you're talking about. I have no information. Can't help you. Defending champion Davis Riley has no comment on the potential deal.
I mean, like, come on. Like, I think sitting down, it's Trump, Yasser, Jay, and then Davis Riley are the ones at the White House, and he can comment. Okay, all right. Go.
I mean, may as well. If you got him, you may as well ask him. Ricky does come up this week. I'll get to him in a second. Scotty is 3 under through 2 holes. Finishes tied for 4th, but 3 under through 2 holes on Thursday. Everybody is like, oh, here we go again. It's not even fun. Why are we doing this? He doesn't end up winning, but I just love watching the live's Twitter reaction as we're going back now. Everybody is immediately, oh, this is over. This is over. This is over. Do you remember who has the 18-hole lead here? Actually, has the lead for like the majority of the tournament.
PJ, that's an insane question. Why would I remember who has the 18-hole lead at the Charles Schwab Challenge?
That's fair.
In mid-May,
I didn't until this came up.
Okay.
Do you remember this?
Who is this? Oh, John Pock.
John Pock is a Knicks fan and fires a 63 in the opening round to have the solo lead. This is the night after the bullshit Halliburton 3-pointer where he's dribbling around in circles and throws it in the air and makes the buzzer beater in game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals in the Garden. And John Pock, Knicks fan, says, I'm a diehard Knicks fan, and that was historically one of the worst losses I've ever seen in my life. This is me editorializing. John, I would agree. There was a fire lit under me this morning. So he's pissed off, and he goes out and fires a 63. This is a PGA Tour graphic with John photoshopped into a Deuce McBride jersey. I just wanted to put this up for the preposterousness of that sentence. Blocky's in the field because, of course, he is. This is Colonial. Yeah, I've heard Colonial sets up well for an old pro like him. Joseph has a great tweet. Blocky starts with a birdie, makes a bogey on the second, birdie's the third. Joseph tweets, not enough fanfare for on the second hole.
This is a week after he said he can't play without the crowds around him.
Not enough crowds at the second hole, Blocky, but there was enough on 1 and 3. Blocky and Scotty Scheffler both shoot 68s on Thursday. They have the same score. So after all that, Scotty is 300 through 2. Everybody's losing their mind. Not so fast, my friend. Blocky's just as good.
All right. Good for Blocky.
Ricky Chatter, as I mentioned before, he enters Sunday in solo third. This is his first time in contention, essentially since he won the Rocket 2 years ago at this point. And enters Sunday in solo third. He ends up T16. So the Ricky momentum is not there. It was hot on social for a second. Everybody was very excited. Didn't happen. Yeah. The Schwab results before we get to the true event of the week. Ben Griffin gets his first solo win. Obviously, just won the Zurich. Ben Griffin takes down Matty Schmid by 1 shot. Ben alludes to having some haters in his press conference after winning.
Does he have haters?
He said he got some comments, and he was wondering if they were on TikTok. Quote, I don't want to say silence the haters, but there's definitely some hate comments I got last night, and I used that as fuel today to get an individual win.
He's too online if he's getting comments on Saturday night before
Colonial.
Yeah.
People are just waiting to jump on BG, but he starves the haters, wins Colonial, obviously goes on a ridiculous heater from here. We're on the heater, cool. But it gets a lot better from here. So congrats to BG. Now, the true event of the week, why I'm so glad that I was dealt this in our hand. The Senior PGA Championship.
Oh, God. I forgot. I thought we were going to Memorial. We're not.
Oh, we're so far from Memorial, brother. You have no idea what's about to happen. We're going to take you on a journey. You were there. I was there.
Yeah.
We'll just go through it for everybody else.
Congressional.
Andy anoints the Senior PGA of the event of the week, but it is revealed to him live by you that it is no longer the KitchenAid stand-up mixer. Senior PGA.
We know he's received free countertop appliances in exchange for naming it event of the week in the past, but
so
no longer.
No new mixer, but event of the week nonetheless. You ask, is this a better venue than Quail Hollow? To which Andy says, I think it is.
Yeah, no, it is Congressional, unquestionably. Where the seniors are playing a better week later, better place than the PGA.
So everybody is fired up here. Andy does a deep dive on the senior Corbridge financial team, declares that he is all in, absolutely all in on the senior Corbridge financial team. Field notables: Soren Kelson's debut. He turned 50 earlier this week. Bo Van Pelt's debut on the senior tour. Westie's Champions Tour debut. Yarmo is in the field. Brett Wederick is on a Team USA Ryder Cup exemption into the Senior PGA because it's run by the PGA of America. Dick Mast is a Corbridge Financial Team member in the field. Duffy Waldorf of In-Out Alternate fame is in the field. Pancake Man Freddie Jacobson in the field.
Freddie Jacobson, the junk man.
The junk man. Sorry, okay. That's on me. Hand up.
You're fine.
That's on me.
Still young. You're learning.
Got my pancakes confused.
They're fine.
Taggart Writings is listed on the tee sheet, and you love it.
Who's ever called him Taggart?
You love that Taggart Ridings is listed in full name. We do our picks. Andy, this is direct quote. I'm going to go with the heartwarming story that the senior tour needs right now, and I'm going to take Angel Cabrera. Fresh off a win.
God.
Wednesday at the senior PGA. Ernie and Retief Goosen end up in the Oval Office as official delegates of South Africa with the South African president. So this is a photo here from Golf Week of the Big Don, the South African delegation, Retief Goosen, and Ernie Els in the Oval Office.
That's right. I forgot about this.
While they're in D.C. I just think this is a kind of a lasting image. Also on Wednesday is the Pro-Am, which I come into some unsubstantiated rumors while I'm walking the grounds. Don plays with Monty in the Pro-Am, regaling him.
Not Don Trump, not the DC.
Don Raya. There's too many Dons.
President of the PGA.
Too many Dons. Yeah. Don Raya, the Don, plays with Monty. In the Pro-Am, regaling him with tales about the minor league umpire career, and is openly talking about the USGA being pro rollback. Did not like Mike Wan going on NLU to pontificate about how great the rollback was. Did not like that Mike Wan was doing media saying that the PGA was anti-rollback. Did not. The five families are fighting at this point, and Don is willing to tell whoever is in front of him that he's not happy with Mike Wan.
That's real Don, a true Don, talking about the other families.
Thursday morning, this happens.
All right, gentlemen. Welcome to Congressional Country Club. Today, that persistent championship testing rain is settling in. It's one of those days. That rain. It has a way of testing more than just your swing, doesn't it?
Doesn't it?
This isn't just about skill anymore. It's a profound test of will, that rain. It washes away the unimportant, leaving just the essence of the fight. Experience, that's their shield. Focus, their guide. And the sound of that rain on the umbrella, their concentration. Each drop, a little nudge. Stay present, shot by shot. Even the dampness in the air has a way of sharpening the senses, doesn't it? You don't fight the rain, you play through it. This isn't a round to be endured. It's a round to embrace. Victory in these conditions, it's not just won, it's weathered. It's earned. Championships aren't won on Thursday, but they can be lost.
I'll never get old. Ralph Waldo Rhea, just penning some poetry right there.
We record on Thursday afternoon. Me, you, and Joseph. I wish he was here. You are you are incredulous. You're yelling. This is a quote. Put him in the year in review. You can already slot him in for a Halloween costume. He seems to be using his lofty perch to advance his own profile because he just delivered a howitzer of an essay that absolutely nobody asked.
Thursday morning, the senior PGA. He just whipped some poor, social producer into lines. This kid is just there. You're going to come with me, son. We're going to make magic happen. Like, why are we doing this?
So that's I had to play the whole thing. I'm glad I got the video in here.
Yeah, the whole video.
It's too good. The olds are not happy. The olds are not thrilled about congressional. Too hard. It's not like your sunny Florida nonsense concession country club. They're pissed. Too hard. Ernie is in the top 5 after the first round. Gets asked, this is obviously a special place for you, given that he won a major here. Question: does it matter when you look back on your career? Does it matter where you won? Ernie says, well, I was lucky enough to have won at good ones. I've only won 4. So those are 4: Oakmont, here, Murfield, and Lytham. That's a good question. Lytham.
Yeah,
I can't pronounce
that. You're going to be pissed.
Whatever.
You're fine. Lytham.
It happens.
We'll call it Lytham.
That's a good question. No, I don't think you should absolutely care. It's not up to you where they put the venues. If you play good enough and win a major, if you win it at Torrey Pines, so be it. Tries to save it. Not meaning Torrey Pines is not a good golf course, but it's a different kind of course. But no, You take a major where you get one. I promise you.
All-time backhanded.
It's not a bad course, but it's different. Sure.
Not meaning it's a bad course.
You're going through all the quotes from the early rounds on the podcast. The olds are pissed. The greens are too severe. Too much slope. Nobody is liking the pin positions. The greens are too much at Congressional. Ollie has a good quote. Jose Maria, quote, the PGA needs to be quite conscious of the slopes. The olds are already setting the tone for a potential revolt because Congressional is too hard. Friday, 6:19 a.m., I get in the car. We're going. We're driving. We're getting there.
Mr. PJ goes to Washington. Yeah.
You call me as I am just getting on the Capitol Beltway. I'm like 45 minutes away. You quote me, well, Dick Green doesn't go off until 2 as I leave my house at 6 a.m. And I make it by noon for the 12:15 grouping of, I believe this is Jason Karen at 12:15. And I make contact with Blandy and Miguel Angel Jimenez. And I text Joseph, I think today's the first day I've really questioned what I'm doing with my life.
Appropriately so. God. What day did you get here? Saturday? Friday night. Friday afternoon.
Friday afternoon. Got
You
there
stayed through.
Friday at noon. Stayed through.
Until the final.
Stayed through.
God.
You beat me there, I believe, on Saturday morning. You're receiving pictures of Jose Maria who missed the cut. He's still grinding on the range, just hanging out.
I took my kids.
Wind is ripping out of a direction they almost never get at Congressional, which is firming up and starting to bounce again after early week rain. That championship testing rain, some have said. Could peak for tomorrow. Jose is out there grinding. As you just said, Mr. PJ debuts. I'm here. You take a picture of me.
My kids are calling you Mr. PJ.
Your children are calling me Mr. PJ, wondering if it stands for Peter Jamal.
Yeah, they did ask that. What is it short for?
Late Saturday has an 8-way tie for the lead. Jason Karen has a tie for the 54-hole lead alongside Philip Archer, Retief Goosen, and Angel Cabrera. Padraig and Dickie B are out there just smashing driver every hole, which I found incredibly interesting as the two guys who play the, I would say the young man's tours or young enough man's tours on a regular basis, that they're just smashing longest club possible. Whereas Blandy played with Justin Leonard on Saturday, and Justin Leonard is like bunting 3 hybrids off every tee, and Blandy is just smashing drives like 100 yards past him, which I was hilarious to watch in real time. As much as Bryson bombed it past Blandy at Quail on Saturday, Blandy was that far past Justin Leonard, which is a very funny place to be in the senior game. Stu Sink is back to complaining on Saturday night about the wall factor of rough. There's no first cut, so it just goes from fairway to thick rough. Doesn't like that. Thinks it's unfair. Thinks there needs to be a first cut. Thinks you shouldn't get hosed by playing up against the wall of the fairway. So the old's still not happy about the course. I capture this moment early Sunday morning, a good old-fashioned Cleeks Magic Stick rivalry between Westy and Blandy on the putting green here. Westy's one shot off the lead. Andy's in high spirits. Typical Westy, 77 on Sunday. Falls all the way back from T2 to T25. Very typical major championship performance. Angel Cabrera wins. Padraig Harrington is like running away with this. Admits that he got overconfident after a hot start. I believe he was like 6 under through 10. He was just hooping. Missed a 3-footer that would have gotten into a playoff at 18. He admits that he was overconfident and is pissed off that he did not get this done. So Angel Cabrera wins. Congressional members have pause about him winning. You say that you've heard from women members that are unsure about getting in the winner's photo with him on the 18th green. I am on the 17th green in front of a member's tent where there are audible cheers after he misses a short birdie putt that would have tied him for the lead. The members are actively rooting against this man. I also make contact with Angel and confirm that he's using a jailbird putter.
That's right. That got ripped off. Somebody took that.
That got ripped. And
Angel using a jailbird putter. How about that?
That got ripped and played out. We get to the trophy ceremony.
Pavilion just booing him or cheering when he misses.
Cheering when he loses. We get to the trophy ceremony, the main event. What I drove 13 hours for, and Don's not there.
Did not take you 13 hours round trip.
13-hour trip.
Okay, all right.
Don's not there. Don is
graduation. Is that what we learned later?
That's what we learned much later. Now, I would say if this graduation was during the actual PGA, there is no chance that Don would have passed up the opportunity to give the trophy to Scotty Scheffler. So I'm just asking for equal treatment for my championship. But here's my tweet of whatever other PGA of America official is handing the trophy to Angel on the 18th green in congressional country.
Who is that? I can't see. Yeah, that's kind of did we get the unsubstantiated rumor that he was there early in the week?
He was. This comes out later at the U.S. Open. We hear that he was supposed to give a 3-minute opening to a banquet on Tuesday night and ended up speaking for 35 minutes. Just, waxing poetic.
Wasn't he supposed to be opening for like Ernie or something?
Yes.
Q&A, and then he's like, well, Ernie, here you go. And he just used all the allotted time. Yeah.
And he says, unironically, one of the best things for your golf game is going to jail because a bogey doesn't matter after you get out.
This is the most galaxy brain bullshit thing.
A bogey doesn't matter. A bad shot doesn't matter. You have a newfound sense of life. And we all wonder, everybody's wondering, if Angel Cabrera is the first person to ever win 2 major championships in the span of 1 week, as he wins on Monday and wins again on Sunday.
2 separate majors in the 7-day or 6-day span.
Has anybody ever won 2 majors in 1 week before? And lastly, I will leave you with this. My favorite moment of the week. I ended up staying at a hotel in Bethesda with the majority of the field, I would say. As I'm pulling back into the hotel, who do I see outside in front with his courtesy car? Padraig Harrington is taking his bags out of the car. Obviously, just a debilitating, humiliating loss. He is very ashamed of himself. Well, what does he do? He films the exterior of his rental car to make sure he's not getting dinged for any damage charges.
No dents,
like a good civilian. I say in the newsletter, stars, they're just like us. That warms my heart. After just a terrible day on the golf course, completely bungling it, Padraig still does not want to pay for any dings. That will bring, mercifully, the senior PGA to a close. I just felt like I needed to do that justice.
I mean, that was ended up being one of the great events of the year. And he's saying they need to go to jail. You might be better. God, I just got a press release coming across my desk, or a press, PR hit attempt. Said, "Hi there, with TGL Season 2 kicking off January 6th, which is not right. Doesn't it kick off December 28th?
Yeah.
The Bay Golf Club just announced a new performance-driven partnership that gives a look into how teams are preparing behind the scenes. Could you guess what this is? What is this Bay Golf Club partnership? Into how teams are preparing behind the scenes. What could it be?
Do they have a deal with Rory's new production company?
No. Sattva is now the official mattress and restorative sleep partner of the Bay Golf Club.
No.
What? Sattva? What is that, a mattress company?
We're losing.
The official mattress. This is capitalized. The official mattress and restorative sleep partner of the Bay Golf Club. I love that they had the date wrong. Well, Lagoon is the official sleep partner of the Shotgun Start. But what is this press release? The Bay Golf Club.
That's great.
Anyway,
you think if Wyndham throws a club at a mattress that they'll tweet out being like, "Hey, Wyndham, we're still with you."
I mean, that's better than people or lockers, hard goods, I suppose. We just got through an endeavor that yielded so much, just a bonanza of goodies and content, that you traveled to the Senior PGA Championship. You know what? The ROI on that, the expense for that, needs to be justified. need to help figure out how. You know what? The brands, as we heard, KitchenAid's out for their own whatever. That's their own reason. It's tough to get a sales partner to get PJ on the road for senior PGA Championship coverage. But
I listen, after hearing that recap, if you're a partner out there and you don't want to be involved in that, like, what are you doing?
Yeah, we might have, who knows? Goldman Sachs might want in on that. Bank of America, who knows? Primo brand. So, but if you join Friday Golf Club, a portion of that goes to support our work, get us out there on the road. Now, typically it's to fill more golf courses, collect more assets, educate ourselves more on golf course architecture out there in the world. But it also supports our work. This is stuff we are reinvesting back into our production, into the website. We have someone, Bo, a brilliant fellow out there in San Francisco, working on how to make the membership experience better. That helps us kind of invest in the club. It is not, as I so often quip, so we could buy a new boat. That you don't join the club so we can buy a new boat. None of that's happening. It supports our work. And not just that, you get a lot of shit for it. You got a lot of good stuff for it. There's a golf course profile and egg rating every single week. You have early access to events. The events have been very hot. Those are all selling out. Club members it's like a day. Don't quote me on this.
I think it's 1 day jump,
right? Used to be a week. I think it's a day now. You get there are just some member only events. You get additional golf opportunities. I won't, call that out, too specifically. But say we have an event in a major metropolitan area. We may have friends and accomplices at nearby clubs that can help you. But just a lot of ways and you get 10% off merchandise. A lot of ways we're trying to make the value of that go a long way. It's only $120 for the year. That's $10 a month. It's not much. Hopefully, I understand it's not nothing, but given all you get each week and then over the course of the year, hopefully it's a good deal. And again, it goes to support our work and makes us, enables us to do more. So check out Friday Golf Club. Sign up. Join today. Going to be a big 2026 in the club. We just crossed a nice threshold for club members, but still ample room. We've built on an addition to the hottest club in town. There's another, champagne room or another, more room in the club. All right, let's get to Memorial. The Memorial Tournament presented by, I don't even know. Is it Workday at this point? Yeah. It used to be Nationwide. It's a bunch of things. This week, Oklahoma State blasts Virginia. Beats Virginia in the final match to win the NCAA men's championship. I think this was when that Swede, I believe, for Oklahoma State was being a pest, and there was like some face-to-face, tension with one of the older Virginia players. Michael Lasasso wins the individual championship. He missed a couple timing checkpoints. There was some drama about will it be enforced pace of plays, but he wins the individual championship. Will Zalatoris announces surgery for 2 herniated discs. You could have told me he announced this like January 15th. I forgot he got all the way to essentially June before he was on the shelf. Now I know he, was up and down and was trying to figure out what was wrong. But yeah, he has surgery for 2 herniated discs.
I wouldn't have bet it was this late. I honestly, I forgot until going back and doing the research that he was leading the players at one point. But I think that was the last thing he really did. I think that was the last hurrah.
Yeah. Recently followed the Shotgun Start on Instagram, didn't he?
Welcome. Hello, Will.
Josh Carpenter dug into the PGA Tour's broadcast numbers. He said the tour has added between 6 to 8 minutes of more live golf per tournament. That's on top of an additional 12 minutes in 2023. So we're talking about 20 more minutes of live golf since, say, call it early 2020s. I think just a positive note.
That's good.
Out. Yeah. I mean, bullying works, as you often say. If we shout about, and just think about how crappy it used to be. It used to be just inexcusably, a disservice to the viewer. We already start to get rough videos from Oakmont. We're a good ways away. We still have Memorial and Canada Open to play. Rough videos. And I tweet, I want 20 straight days of rough videos. Everybody just drop this. We need 20 days of rough videos. This starts the drama of Victor says all the best par threes in the world are under 200 yards.
Yep.
JT, I think, had a similar comment about their low on par threes don't work. Because they're referring to number 8 at Oakmont being 300 yards. I don't know. Someone's trying to write a story about that. Building off the momentum of the prior week and video essays of Mr. Rea, we are doing an on-site design disasters in New Jersey, one of your favorites. And we do a cold rendition of Mr. Rea's essay. PJ, did I send this to you as an asset to play?
Yes.
All right, why don't you play it? Let it rip.
Hello, gentlemen. Welcome to a random Wednesday round at an undisclosed location in northern New Jersey. Oh, that rain. That championship testing rain. Can you hear it? Every pitter, every patter on our umbrellas is just another drop of focus that we need to hit a slice hook 215 yards down this fairway. Oh, that rain. That championship testing rain. Every nudge is just another reason to wash away the bad shots and look ahead to the good ones. Oh, that rain. It's what makes these random Wednesday rounds that mean absolutely nothing mean all that much more.
I almost lost it like 3 different times during that video. You can see when I almost lose it 3 different times.
Pretty good. That was good. Right off the momentum of Rea's essay. I tweeted this is when Timothy Chalamet is going to every Knicks game, and he's of course Mr. New York at the moment. I tweet this will be the Bethpage grandstands when Ben Griffin and Andrew Novak go 2 up with 3 to play. It might have been the grandstands. We didn't get the Novak Griffin pairing that I predicted, but yes, it was rowdy up there. Jack Nicklaus is seen in a good hoodie.
So good.
The yellow sunglasses yellow tinted sunglasses. I don't know why he was in a good hoodie. I guess he did a good video maybe, but this became a meme over the course of the year. This is where it originated. We learned the Memorial Tournament is selling hats that simply say Jack's Place on them, which this is now a proper noun, Jack's Place. It can't just be Muirfield Village or the Memorial. It's Jack's Place with a hat. I mean, it looks like it's saying Jack's Place.
The apostrophe is preposterously spaced. It's too big.
I mean, if you buy one of those, it serves you right. You go around looking like an idiot. What else? Rory skips Memorial, as you mentioned. This will be skipping his 3rd quote-unquote signature event of the season following the Century, which I don't think he'd be caught dead at. It feels like he never plays that. But he skips RBC Heritage, obviously the week after the Masters he wins, and now he's skipped Memorial. And they asked Jack, and he's just like, he kind of popped it, but he came around. Like, look, these guys got busy schedules. It's fine. I don't know. Like, I can't get too mad, but I was surprised. People, and this, of course, leads to a somewhat of a media feeding frenzy of like, whoa, did he not like do the proper protocol of being respectful to Jack while turning down his tournament. And he does, but he is committed to play Canada the next week. And Jack's like, some guys like to play the week before. Maybe.
Oh, he's listed as a Canadian in the Canadian Open field, as we discussed.
Right. We're joined by Joseph Lamagna. Joseph, thank you for hopping in. You're going to help us here, get us across the line with the 3rd men's major of the year of the U.S. Open. Feel free to jump in anytime you want.
Do you have any Colonial takes that you want to get off while we're just not too far removed?
No, I didn't prep for Colonial. Hopefully it was covered at the top that victory Friday for people from Indiana who may be getting the Indiana Bears. So as long as that was tackled, I'm all set.
It got extensive treatment at the top.
Good.
Multi NFL franchise state Indiana. But part of like the Rory skipping his 3rd one, they're like, getting the best of the best should be the point, but our signature events losing their luster, but no way you're going back on $20 million purses. This was, I would note, we're in a stretch where we had 2 majors and 3 signatures in 7 weeks. So that's 5 of 7 weeks where either a major or a Siggy event. And so just like, yeah, I mean, of course, maybe Rory misses one or Scotty misses a Wells Fargo or Truist, whatever it is. What else do we have? Oh, it's announced Tuesday. There's a new Tour Championship format coming, but it's just a bridge. It's just a bridge. This is just a bridge year. As I
Not
always
final.
say. It's just a bridge year. We'll have brand new bells and whistles later in the next year. This is just a bridge. The Player Advisory Council says they will continue to study the qualification to, quote, raise the stakes on the entire FedEx Cup season and reinforce the Tour Championship as the hardest tournament to qualify for. The announcement is that the staggered starting strokes capitalized are gone. Staggered start is gone. We tweet this meme, RIP to the Net Tour Championships. Pay your respects. What video game is this from, PJ? Do you know, like Call of Duty or something like that?
I don't think it's Call of Duty even. I don't even know. It's just the press F to pay respects meme has been co-opted by whatever video game this is.
PJ Tour has to post like a serious article. Starting strokes are no more. But it's still going to be one trophy. There's no confusion anymore. If you win Atlanta, you win the FedEx Cup, which, they're like, oh, we're going to have to partition out the bonus pool so it's reward more for the full regular season than it does just the FedEx Cup. Eamon Lynch reports this week that Live Golf has told its players contract renewals will not include large upfront payments that were given initially. Here's $50 million for coming over for a league that doesn't yet exist at the time. And adds DJ's contract expires. Brooks and Bryson are next year. Rahm is longer term. Speaking of Live, Jose Luis Ballester signs with Live. I believe he became a ball of fire. Was where he joined. What else? Go back to Memorial. Oh, Peyton Manning is playing the Pro-Am with Scotty Scheffler, and he just rips. He smokes some like hard shank or slice. It looks like goes right. There's a loud bang. It's reported. I'm not sure that he hit a house, but I don't know if it was like a trailer or a structure. PJ, do you have the video?
Good morning.
Scotty's like beside himself laughing. He hit something. It's like a cannon blast.
It was loud, whatever it was.
Yeah. For reasons like, I guess he's got to have an opinion on everything. Jack comes out like virulently anti-walk and talk interview, comes out very against this.
I don't remember this at all.
He goes, I can't stand that. That interview on the golf course. Let me tell you how I feel. I mean, seriously, here's a guy who's leading the golf tournament. He's just at the edge of the rough. He's got a very difficult shot, a very difficult hole, and you're talking to him about stuff that totally takes his mind off of what he was doing. How do you think Hogan would respond to that situation? You would not have any teeth left if you did. He'd hit you right in the face. So that was Jack. Not a fan of walk and talk. That's not a Jack impression. I don't know, speaking too quickly, trying to get us through. Jordan Spieth, speaking of taking out a fan's teeth or someone's teeth, Jordan Spieth hits wide right in the rough. They do not clear the gallery in an appropriate way, and he buzzes the tower, like literally buzzes the tower. PJ, do you have the video of this? This was really dicey. It's right. I mean, right over his head, like right, just like right through. And then we had both angles of this. He almost, in a bit of irony, one of the Spieth tracker accounts, I believe it's Spieth Legion, was there in person.
This was so
in this
funny.
crowd. He goes, he almost hits me. We're in big trouble. This Spieth Legion tweeter like lives and dies with every Jordan Spieth shot. Almost gets taken out.
Brendan, we'd be remiss to say that's maybe why you should only have people in the field who qualified for it. It's a little dangerous once you let in some of these outsiders.
That's fair. What else happens? Memorial gets a little spicy on Saturday. Joseph tweets about this like it's beautiful with heart emoji eyes. Like a lot of guys who are 9 over for the championship, 5, 6, 7 over on the day on Saturday. I don't forget what happened.
Find someone that loves you as much as Joseph loves Murphy Village.
I mean, people were ejecting on Saturday. It was awesome.
We've got Harry Higgs, 7 over through 10. McCarthy 6 over through 10. 5 over through 7. So like just a lot of that going on. You have a whole leaderboard of that going on. So it got really tight. Some sort of soccer game preempts the third round on CBS. And I sort of stir the pot of like, Barbara, they got some soccer game going on. It preempts what's going on? I think it was the Champions League final, I believe. Which was who? Who was playing in that, PJ? You have the Barcelona or one of these teams?
I think Real Madrid won.
Okay.
Real Madrid and PSG, maybe?
Someone from the Bundesliga.
Yeah. Who cares?
Yeah. So this preempts third round coverage on CBS. There's not a lot of people. So I tweeted about it and nobody got the joke. I was like, some little soccer game is obstructing our viewing, and there's like 780 million people going to watch that, bro. I got a lot of that. A lot of that reply. Scotty takes the lead by one shot over Ben Griffin. Going into Sunday morning, we recall that he's converted 8 of his last 8 54-hole leads. Is this thing over? There may be too much content. Luke Clanton gets a half-hour special on CBS before the start of the final round.
Oh my
on
God!
Memorial, which
I had this for part of next week too.
He was a prospect, but like, why is there a 30-minute special on Luke Clanton at this point? That's prime network television. That's a good lead-in spot.
Well, I mean, after last night, he's the newest superstar now. Everybody loves Luke Clanton
That's
after
true.
last
He
night.
was great.
So it's never wrong, just early.
He was great. Ian Baker Finch calls Scotty the sheriff on the broadcast, which makes us all wonder, is he listening?
For a few days, let me tell you from experience.
Okay, let's see what the sheriff can do.
Like, what? Where did that come from? He's never been referred to as the sheriff, unless on this podcast. Like, not in the broadcast. What's he saying? That was pretty good. We all start freaking out. The fair is IBF part of the fair police bit. Scheffler does go on to win, 2 under 70, defends his title at the Memorial, leads the field in strokes gained tee to green, neither gained or lost strokes with the putter. This is Joseph, en route to a 4-shot victory over red-hot Ben Griffin. So he wins by 4, shooting at 2 under 70 in the final round. Yahoo Sports tweets that the Rockies, the baseball team who play every day, and Scotty Scheffler have the same amount of wins since May 4th. This is essentially like June 1st or 2nd at this point. So in about a month, the Rockies and Scotty Scheffler have the same amount of wins. Bennett becomes a star again. Bennett, of course, has that blowout on the diaper, on the onesie, which every parent can empathize with and has dealt with. There have been several, had many of these battles.
At this point, this is like you mentioned that, 5 majors or Siggies in a 6-week span here. This is Bennett is on TV every day, pretty much.
Just claiming his trophies with his dad. But this was a funny one. Kyle said, Kyle Porter tweet, winning a golf tournament for $4 million, your wife handing you a baby with a poop stain square in the middle of his back is peak dad life. Aside from the winning a tournament of $4 million, that's not part of my dad life. I know that. What else happened? We get Ben Griffin, Straka, Nick Taylor, Russell Henley, and Mav McNeely round out the top 5. They've all been winners on the PGA Tour since November. I think that's Lamagna suggesting that Memorial rewards ball knowers and ball strikers. Apparently, winners on the tour end up top 5. Ben Griffin refers to Scotty as a video game golfer. But he says video game golfers can be beat. They can be beat. He's undaunted. Ricky, on a sponsor's exemption to this signature event, which has a cut, but a 72 down to 60, whatever it is, minimal cut. He finishes T7 on a sponsor's exemption, and we put, quote, earning his way into the Open Championship. So this is the Open qualifying series still, and it's Lawn had sort of a trigger at Memorial where guys can get in at the Memorial. Of course, then it wasn't a limited field signature event where, a good chunk of the field is already going to be exempt for reasons or other via way of being a top player in the world. So Ricky finishes 7th. Scotty obviously already in the Open, right? Ben Griffin already probably in the Open via Schwab or top ranking, whatever it is. So it keeps falling And Ricky's on a sponsor exemption. He gets in the Open Championship.
I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, if it was not Ricky, the next unqualified guy was Brant Snedeker.
I think that's right. Yes.
I think that's right.
Another sponsors exemption this week. Yep. Joseph writes, well, many will see this as a validation of the sponsor's selection. I cannot disagree more emphatically. If handpicking marketable faces to shake sponsors' hands in hospitality tents and pro-ams is necessary and added to the tour's business model, that it justifies undermining the meritocracy the tour purports to be, fine. But spots in major championships, Ryder Cup points, and future status on tour are too consequential to hinge on who has found favor with the corporate sponsors cutting the PGA Tour checks. Anyway, good for Ricky. Can't blame him for cashing in on his popularity and past accomplishments. But players who feel slighted by the tour's propensity to reward members of the boys' club with career-changing perks have every right to feel aggrieved. Their frustrations are well-founded. Yeah, and the amount of FedEx Cup points that Ricky got from this one event alone went a very, very long way. Now, you still got to finish 7th, like whatever. You got to play. You still got to hit shots once you're there. But this was a nice bucket of points that got. He ended up getting all the way to BMW, right? Not just based on these points, but it got him in the playoffs. Good bucket of points. Also this week is the U.S. Women's Open at Erin Hills. Most viral moment was this. Meg Adkins early on gets a photo of Charlie Hull sitting cross-legged on the tee box. It's the 9th tee while her group is still putting out on 8. This was interpreted as like, is she sort of frustrated with her playing partners? I think she was with Nelly and Lexi. No, it was just brutally slow all the way around. It got a little windy out there. It was 6-hour rounds. It was just awful pace. 6-hour rounds at Erin Hills. There was that weird Amari Avery club debacle. Remember her house or Airbnb was getting broken into, and I still can't really follow this story. Her clubs and her boyfriend's clubs or something got mixed up, and they just I think they were hurriedly running out of this Airbnb and threw them in the wrong travel bag, and then her boyfriend traveled home and opened the bag and was like, oh wait, he threw your clubs in my bag. And so she played with Gabby Ruffles clubs during the U.S. Women's Open, shot 73 to make the cut while playing with her old USC teammates clubs. A lot of fun with the layout. People were into Erin Hills for the women. There's that 15th hole, which they set up as drivable short 4, where people are just making 8s and 9. You could drive it up around the green, and they were going like ping pong back and forth around the green. A lot of fun about the setup there. Lexi finishes and has a big long Instagram caption. Of course, this is a year after the U.S. Open at Lancaster, where she announces, can't do it anymore, like John Elway in tears. I'm retiring. I'm out. She says, she excused the slow play because of pace play was a huge talk this week. I want people to realize our group basically waited on every single hole up on the front. We were never out of position or on the clock or warned. I'll be the first one to say I'm not as fast as my playing partners the 2 days, but I'm also the last person who wants to be out there for 6 hours. So before you make assumptions, make sure you get all the facts right before basing it on pictures and little clips. That's all, but it wasn't all. And I'm not sure how many times I'll have to repeat this, but I never used the word retire. I said not a full-time schedule because I'm not sure how much I will play. Just taking it one at a time. That's why I'm still playing the tournaments I actually enjoy, I want to play in, which is like a lot of them, many of them, maybe all of them. Much love to my true fans out there. Well, if she didn't use the word retire, she certainly held a ceremony, made a big announcement, made a big show that I'm out. I'm done. Like, if it's just like a slowly dissipating schedule, don't make the farewell tour. And it's not even sure it's dissipating. Well, maybe she didn't use the retire. You know what did? Her own league's website, LPGA.com. Lexi Thompson announces retirement from LPGA Tour. This is LPGA.com, May 28th, 2024. Announces retirement. So, correct the record on May 28th, 2004, if this is what you like. We can parse the language all we want, but whatever. It's not big enough for me to care. This was a hot topic, I guess, that she posted about on Instagram. We get an out of the blue champion at Erin Hills. This is Meg writing, Maya Stark managed her way around challenging Erin Hills. 2-shot victory over Nelly Korda and Rio Takada. She joins Lizalette Newman and Annika as the only Swedes to win the U.S. Women's Open. Surprising result for Stark, who has struggled with 3 missed cuts in just one top 5 finish. Nelly comes up short She just couldn't make any kind of putt. Like
Mhm.
brutal, missed birdie chances, brutal bogeys. I think she was 52nd in strokes gained putting, but this was the first time she's ever really been in contention at a U.S. Women's Open. She just couldn't take advantage of a strong ball striking week. And one of the funnier events of the week, it ends with Julia Lopez Ramirez.
This was
just
crazy.
Airmails it from the bunker into the scoring tent. Doesn't take relief. A lot of tweets, a lot of amusements. Just run the assets all the way through if you need to, PJ. Like she was just in a hurry to get the scoring, just in this little hut. Of course, Maya Stark, like it's still like she could blow up. Like it's within reach. And Andy tweets, "This is an all-time icing." Like the playing partner, she's in the greenside bunker, so Stark's already on the green. And then they got to get all these scoring tables.
Yeah, they're like
chairs all the
they
way.
got like 4 people just hustling tables out of this tent.
Yeah, yes. That's the U.S. Women's Open. This was amusing. Elsewhere, one more golf nugget. Charlie Woods wins his first AJGA title at Streamsong. There's an all-out freak-out session about this. A real field. You know, you had Luke Colton in the field, Miles Russell in the field. It was like, I think 50 of the top 60, or 60 of the top 100 ranked juniors, 4 of the top 5. Like the real field, and Charlie wins. I think he had like a 65, 66 on the weekend, and people are freaking out. He wins at Streamsong. Good for Charlie Woods. That does it for Memorial Week. Another Scotty crowning and Ricky exemption gate. So,
All right,
let's get to Canada.
We're off to Canada, but first, Monday of Canada Week. Brennan Poreth coins as golf's long-ish day. Not longest. It's not the longest day in golf. You call it longish. It's long, but it's not overly. We're over branding. Longish day.
Forgot about this. Obviously.
First off, Crentist, Matt Vogt is the story of the day. Former Oakmont caddy, who is now a dental coach, wins the Walla Walla medalist.
One in Northwest, yeah.
One in the Northwest. He was the last one to come in, but he's the story of the day. Also, big story. Mason Howell goes 63-63 as a 17-year-old to tie for medalist in Atlanta. Obviously, a precursor of things to come for Mason Howell.
Yep.
Matt Vogt and Mason Howell will come up again in this episode. Okay. Another person who will come up again in this episode is Cameron Young. Cameron Young goes birdie, final hole, playoff hole to win a 5-for-1. Joseph, do you remember who any of the other people in this 5-for-1 are?
I don't.
It's actually a good crew. Eric Cole.
Yeah.
Congrats to Eric Cole. Just won at Abacoa again. Good job, Eric Cole. Ricky Fowler, Max Homa, and Chase Johnson are taken down by not yet Mr. 1000 in a 5-for-1 playoff. Max Homa has not missed out on a major since 2019. This is a PGA Tour tweet. He has the opportunity to play his way into the U.S. Open today in final qualifying in Columbus. He's carrying his own bag as he is going through another caddy breakup. Him and his caddy that he had been using for the last 2 months have just split up. He has Lance Bennett, Tigers guy in Canada, for this week that he's about to play. Max 3 putts the 36th hole from like 10 feet to bogey the par 5 to set up the 5-for-1 playoff, which Cameron Young then wins. Here's Cameron Young with his punched ticket to the United States Open. Joseph and I obviously asked about this. This sets off a chain of events that the American Ryder Cup system will never be the same after this. Sliding doors moment of potentially the century, people are asking. Other U.S. Open qualifying, Zach Blair gets through at Springfield in a playoff, and Mark Leishman bats it around in Rockville, Maryland, as pretty much the only live guy that stuck it out before RTJ. They're all in the D.C. area. They're right down the road from you, Brendan. Leish sticks it out. All of the rest of them basically WD. They bailed. They don't want to do this anymore.
That's right.
Leish sticks it out, bats it around, and gets through to the U.S. Open. As part of Golf Channel's coverage, Jeff Hall is on with Eamon. They're on the patio at Oakmont. He says, the greens we will present next week will be very, very fast. We will play most of our golf in the mid to upper 14s, and that's what Oakmont is all about. Everybody, Twitter is like up in arms. We think we're getting carnage. Oh, my God. Rory and Adam Scott are out there on that very Monday. Eamon says that Adam Scott hit every fairway on the front and shot 3 over for the 9. Rory made bogey on 8 after hitting a 3-wood into the green and made a triple bogey on 2. So all of these things everybody is already getting, oh my God, carnage. This is going to be so great. Everything that has come out is so excited. Bryson releases his Oakmont video, and he's already talking about the rough. He's way ahead of himself on, oh my God, look at this rough. I have a clip here.
Oh my gosh. That is cooked beyond belief. That's more than half baked there. It's burnt to a crisp. Oh my gosh.
My God.
I actually like this shot for you. I've got nothing. All right. Okay.
He's exaggeratingly getting his club stuck in the rough.
You're kidding.
So Bryson is stoking the fire. Eamon's stoking the fire. Rory's bogeying par 3. Everybody's going insane. Big week for Bryson. He's got a billboard now in Dallas that says, "Come to my golf tournament." They've had enough of the plane. The plane was also out at Colonial. I skipped that in the interest of time, but we got Dallas billboards with Bryson with his weird mustache. This was still in the Bryson weird mustache era of the year. Come to my golf tournament. Come to Live Golf Dallas. Bryson, with Live being at RTJ, is also just shipping balls into the putting green on the south lawn of the White House.
I think Bryson has been to the White House more than like some cabinet members.
Well, he's there currently.
He's there all the time.
So he's out there just sending wedges into the putting green. There's nobody out there. Nothing is going on. He's just practicing on the south lawn of the White House. I thought that was an amusing visual.
He lived Virginia nearby.
Josh Carpenter reports that John Deere extends through 2030. Again, I love finding all of these sponsor extensions because, as we keep saying, the schedule is going to get smaller and smaller. It seems like there are a lot of sponsors that are on board for a lot of years that we're cutting a lot of tournaments for. So I'm excited to see how that happens. Liv announces a partnership with Salesforce, which was unannounced at the PGA. They were all wearing their logo on either the chest or the arm at the PGA, and everybody's like, where did this come from? This is bizarre. They finally announced this. They were wearing the logo at the PGA without any official reason, and I believe some guys would wear it at the U.S. Open, but not everybody. Speaking of Liv, big news, Brendan, the Cleeks Public Drip clothing line.
That's the brand name, Public Drip. Okay.
Yes. So this collab, you got
look at Blandy. I mean, he looks like he's just woke up from a hangover, a bender.
Freddie Ketchup's head is being engulfed by this bucket hat, just completely swallowed.
Blandy looks like, how did I get here?
I mean, this is a lasting photo of our time. I think this is really great. Also in big catnip of the week, Rafa Nadal plays Sawgrass, and the PGA Tour Players Championship puts out a video of him doing it. He's got a very Tennessee-looking swing that everybody has plenty of critiques on. Yeah. Also this week, U.S. Open next week in Pittsburgh. We're getting fired up to go do the live show at Local Remedy and meet some people out in the field. Aaron Rodgers finally decides he wants to sign with the Pittsburgh Steelers. We invite him to Local Remedy. He does not show up. But I had to at least make the ask. It was out there. Canada, as you mentioned before, Brendan, is Luke Clanton mania. We're out of control on Luke Clanton.
Overemphasizing it?
We are breaking contain on Luke Clanton. With all due respect to Luke Clanton.
Too much, right? We're leaning too hard into Luke.
So much.
Feature groups and this, that. Yeah.
He's playing with Rory and Ludwig for his first start as a pro. The PGA Tour documentary comes out, sponsored by Delta. to YouTube and on television, as you mentioned before.
Wait, so was the one did they just announce it in the week of Memorial and then they run it the following? Okay.
I think so.
All right.
Whatever. The fact that exists is kind of ridiculous. Rory reemerges here in Canada, as you mentioned. Rory is asked how impressive Luke Clinton is, coming out of college at such a young age, completely devoid of context that Rory himself was younger, or Joaquin Neiman, or any of these guys that were younger than a college senior had been already playing professional golf for a very long time at this point. Andy was totally taken aback at that question.
Sure, I could see that.
This is one of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Luke Clinton opens his own press conference with prepared remarks. He gives a speech, and he says, he's talking about his family, and he's got a whole speech written out, and he says, "Today my dream becomes a reality."
Was this for a Nike commercial? So they had the clip to run it on a Nike ad.
He's also a Nike athlete. He gets a Nike ad. That was my next line. They give this whole thing with home videos. I just Luke Clinton's a good player, but this feels kind of insane. This is a Cooper Flag rollout.
It was.
Maybe
he had
more.
A number of top tens while on amateur PGA Tour U exemptions.
He almost won twice. He had 2 runner-ups. I mean,
it was
a
Cooper Flag situation. You're right.
But it was feels a little extreme for a guy who then did not actually end up doing anything for the rest of the year. No offense to Luke Clinton. It's just looking back at this. It's crazy. Yeah. He also gets a video message from a certain other Florida State alum.
Yes.
No way.
Luke, first off, congratulations, my brother, and go Noles. So excited to see you set it off right with your first PGA Tour event. Man, go out there and do your very best, one stroke at a time. You got this. Have the mental capacity of one stroke at a time. Always believe in yourself. I believe in you. Blessings and prosperity to you and your career, bro.
Wow. That's unbelievable. Man, I don't even know what to say. I watched all his highlights through his whole FSU career and watched him in the NFL. That's unbelievable. Wow, thank you. I don't even know what to say. Hopefully I get to meet him in the future. That's a big goal of mine. He is one of the funnier dudes and also big believer in Christ, which is unbelievable. So it's really cool to see that kind of support. Thank you, man. I appreciate that, dude.
So very, very honestly, emotional. He almost cried getting a cameo from Jameis Winston.
Can we talk about the quote? He is one of the funnier dudes and also a big believer in Christ, which is unbelievable. Why is it unbelievable that he's a big believer in Christ?
I didn't want to go there, but
he's funnier dudes and is a big believer as opposed to a small believer or a medium-sized believer.
Also, this is just the continued role modelification of Jameis Winston. That's just
which does not necessarily,
ridiculous.
I guess some of these people weren't around before 2016. I don't know. Jameis is a funny dude, big believer in Christ, which is unbelievable. All right, what a quote.
So, congrats to role model Jameis Winston as a role model for Luke Clinton. I guess we'll just leave it at that. David Ford and Gordon Sargent are also making their professional debuts this week. Nobody really cares about that. David Ford does get a PGA Tour video, not as produced as that. He didn't start crying, but he gets it from UNC legends such as Vince Carter, Mac Brown, Roy Williams, and Bill Belichick. Gets on the list early for David Ford here. I just thought that was great.
David, best of luck in your endeavors.
That was pretty much exactly what it was. Roy gives him this 2-minute heartfelt speech about the pride of Carolina, and Bill just, hello, David. Good luck this week.
Good to see Bill in touch with the youths.
Wonder who
Thank you for joining us, Lamont. You keep it coming.
Yeah, this is you get in here. As I said before, Rory emerges to talk about the failed driver at Quail. He's pissed that it got leaked to media. He knows Scotty also failed and wonders why this was not confidential information. He says he didn't speak to the media that week because he wanted to protect Scotty, TaylorMade, the USGA, PGA of America, and not say something he regretted. So he just decided bang it, skip media all week. His tee time obviously got pushed back because of the rain, and he was tired on Saturday. And then once he had Sunday, just wanted to get out of there because he wasn't in contention. Rory says, unless it's written in the rules, the media is going to have guys skip from time to time, and that's well within the player's rights. Later in the week, he reveals that his driver got tested in March, passed, but failed at the PGA. He thinks of the 50 guys that got tested at the PGA, to his knowledge, 9 or 10 of them failed, including him and Scotty. So not exclusive a problem to him, not exclusive a problem to Scotty. It was 20% of the guys that they tested. That was pretty much the extent of Rory. He misses the cut here. First missed cut since the 2024 Open Championship, but rounding into form for Oakmont. The early returns
What was
on,
go ahead.
on TPC Toronto are not good. They're very Brendan is not a fan of the copy and paste bunkering is something that you emphasize on the Wednesday SGS, just doing kind of like a Google Earth view of this course. Joseph, you tweet, there are some very nice venues on the PGA Tour, and there's also TPC Toronto. TPC Toronto gets in the reply.
Oh, TPC Toronto at Osprey Valley popping back.
And says, not JLM from the top rope before the first round is even done. I appreciate the people of TPC Toronto. This is not the last tweet they'll have in here. They were putting up shots this week, which I wholeheartedly appreciate. NBC debuts the Smart Tracer technology that will be green at the top of the tracer if they think it's going to be in the fairway, yellow if it's iffy, or red if it's a bad shot. It's not right. A lot of them are wrong. And B, everybody on Twitter is like, this is one of the dumber things ever because it spoils the result of the shot if it's right. Like the anticipation of seeing where the ball is going to land, this takes it away. This does not get rave reviews from basically anybody. People are not thrilled about this. The Canadian Open, once again, gets preempted. I don't understand how this keeps happening to the poor Canadian Open. So you don't remember. You have no idea. You tweet, I feel bad the Canadian Open is getting overshadowed once again. On June 5th, the Trump-Elon Twitter spat is pretty much the entire day, the entire afternoon, as TPC Toronto is making its debut on the PGA Tour. Absolutely no one is paying attention. Once again, the Canadian Open just gets absolutely smoked, which is very, very funny that this continues to happen to them. Sunday Red debuts the Summer Championship Collection. We haven't talked a lot about Sunday Red this year. We talked a little bit about Carl. I want to just read you the copy description because I know it'll make you happy.
Thank you.
The Summer Championship Collection stands as a tribute to golf's most demanding challenge, inspired by classic American colors and the tradition of golf's ultimate championship. This collection embodies the precision and fortitude required to conquer narrow fairways, punishing rough, and lightning fast greens. Each piece reflects the iconic red, white, and blue, symbolizing the national tournament where par is a worthy score. This is for like a $600 cashmere sweater.
Fortitude, precision. We're talking about clothes. I love how they can't say Oakmont or the U.S. Open in the copy, like the National Par Open and, lightning fast greens. God. Sunday Red. Maybe Rhea might have used the same people for his ad. That's Sunday Red. It's a similar kind of style there.
Could have.
His championship rain video.
USGA announces that Oakmont is sold out for tournament days as we start, on the back of Derek Sprague saying that the PGA was sold out. That obviously was not. So Oakmont gets out in front of it and says, hey, we're good over here. Angel Cabrera makes an albatross at AmFam. In the team event at Steve Stricker, this is the first year of the team event. Darren Clark and Thomas Bjorn win maybe a precursor of things to come for the Skechers World Champions Cup. We should have seen it coming this whole time. As I mentioned before at Colonial, the fire emojis, we're still working through it.
The hot
We're still
icon.
working out the kinks.
Yeah.
Pavone is 7 over par on the day and has a fire emoji.
That's pretty good.
Coming off the par.
Coming off of a par.
Yeah.
As you can see here, he makes it 12 on his first hole of the day. He has a tweet thread that goes step by step, explaining every shot along the way, how he found himself in this situation. And at the end of it, he reveals that he only had 2 balls left in the bag for the rest of the round on the first hole. So some good Pavone there. I appreciated his willingness to get in the mix on Twitter. Do you remember? I don't. There's no chance you do. Joseph, you might. Do you remember who was leading this tournament for pretty much the entirety until Sunday? The only time all year that we're going to mention his name.
Oh, man. Not Fox.
Not Fox.
No.
Cameron Champ is like kind of running away with this thing.
Yes.
Has a multi-shot lead into the
damning indictment for the venue. Typically, is what that means. But
yes,
he pops up, and everybody is like, "Oh my God, when was the last time this ever happened?" There are plenty of venue tweets about what could this possibly mean. Obviously, he does not go on to win, but I wanted to at least acknowledge that Cameron Champ was in contention once this year. The forecast comes out for Oakmont, and it's looking bad. Andy is soak-monting already on Saturday night. Pouring Sunday, pouring Monday, pouring Tuesday. People are already worried about what this means for the rough, what this means for the scores to par. Weather is looking incredibly dicey for the entire week. Another person who had the share of the 54-hole lead was the great Manacero. Brendan tweets, TPC Toronto is the kind of place that truly lets the great one stand out and shine. TPC Toronto tweets back, would only be fitting for the great one to win in Canada. And you say, that's right, TPC Toronto and Osprey Valley.
Who is running the account that they're in our mentions all week?
And they know ball. They know the great one.
They know ball. They know ball.
At the time when the final group goes out on Sunday, this is where things start to get a little haywire. 8-way tie for the lead. Shane Lowry, Cameron Champ, Cristobal Del Solar, Jake Knapp, Lee Hodges, Kevin Yu, Matteo Manacero, and Ryan Fox. 8-way tie for the lead when the first group goes out. So this is chaos. Cameron Young and Sam Burns are nowhere to be seen at this point. They're not even in the conversation. They have not even found their way back in. Liv RTJ, on the other side, in this country, has 6 guys tied for the lead late, including Bryson Neiman and Phil. Neiman wins his 4th win on Liv. Obviously, this gets the people going a week before the major. Here we go. Is this finally happening? I do have to acknowledge Phil Mickelson, maybe shot of the year? Question mark.
I remember this.
Here, wait a minute.
Oh, this would be fun.
Phil can actually hit it over his own head at times. That is unbelievable. Genius. Pure genius.
Arlo goes nuts. Phil hits a bunker shot.
That was sick.
Back over his shoulder, goes in. He's in contention for the first time in years. It was just fun to have Phil around for like an afternoon.
He had a cup of coffee in Miami at the Rail earlier this year. Before this, but that was it.
Sam Burns puts up a 29 on the back to get in with the clubhouse lead in Canada very early, well before the leaders. Like, I don't even think the last group had made the turn yet at this point.
Yeah.
He's just sitting there. He gets in the house and is sitting down and waiting for everybody to melt down. Cameron Young gets hot. Joseph and I start getting a little too in front of our skis. We are rolling through the great vibes of winning sectional qualifying. We're in the U.S. Open, obviously a major championship player. I am watching this on my phone on my flight into Pittsburgh. I'm texting Joseph the whole time. I land next to the Pittsburgh T-Rex skull as Cameron Young goes birdie to tie the lead in Canada. Things are happening. Things are escalating very quickly. He has an adventurous par on 17 where he goes all the way right off the tee into the trees, goes all the way left on accident on the second shot, goes into the bunker, and gets up and down for a miracle 4 to stay in the lead. And then the 18th hole happens. The 18th hole, Brendan, you're muted, so I can't hear you. What did you say?
Sorry. It went right over the green or something, wasn't it? Way over the green.
I wish it was just that bad. So this is on 17. This is where his drive ended up, right in the rough, like crazy right, chips back, lands in a bunker, goes up and down. He's one shot back now on the 18th. He hits a perfect drive right in the middle of the fairway. Hits what he called the best 3-wood of his life. That goes through the back of the green, and he ends up like impossibly behind a tree to the point where he has to just flip out and then hole a chip for birdie to tie. You tweet, the Canadian Open, Brendan, this is a tweet from you. The Canadian Open leaderboard has been electric for the shotgun start rooting purposes. PJ is living and dying with every Cam Young shot. Will be fun to chat on it tonight before departing for Oakmont. And then you have a screenshot of Cam's chip just running by the hole, and you go, he's dead.
The miracle chip to get, to tie. This would be the tie.
This was the Hail Mary to get into the playoff, essentially. I'm watching this on my phone at baggage claim. Gary Williams is there. I'm like pulling my hair out. I'm like very clearly stressing out about this in public. It was great. Joseph, you tweet, Cam Young losing a golf tournament after over-puring the 260-yard approach shot.
Over-puring? You guys are so
his only weakness is he hits the ball too well. That's what DJ and I were talking about.
He's just too good.
He's a little too good.
Before we get to the worst playoff in recorded history,
he's never going to win.
I have Cam's press conference I would like to play.
This very moment, a lot of anger, bit of frustration. I couldn't have hit 2 better shots in the last hole. I don't hit 3-wood that far, and it's blown straight into the wind, and it decided to bounce all the way to the backwoods.
Decided of its own
volition. In the air, I was going to have about a 12-footer to win the tournament, and it ended up somewhere that I was going to struggle to make par, never mind make a 4. So, pretty upset, played pretty well, kind of just want to go home right now.
Not happy. He does go home, as we later learned the next week. He actually did go home and shows up to Oakmont at noon on Tuesday. We'll get to that.
I would say, I watched that back. He seemed just to have a little bit of that residual irritability of wanting to talk to the press when Lunch with the Boys started. From this press conference at the end of Canada, very similar to like, why am I doing this right now?
You think?
Gun to my head. This feels,
It's okay. We're all good now.
I like how you said the ball decided to go into the woods, like as if he had no agency in the outcome.
I hit it too well.
I hit 2 but they are factually not 2 of the best shots in your life. You ended up in the woods and you made a bogey.
Might have felt good.
All right, factually they can't be. All right. Anyways, they were great shots though. Apparently, I don't know.
Foxy makes a 17-footer for birdie to tie Sam Burns, who, again, has just been sitting there the whole time. Everybody else just melts down to even allow Cam to get back into contention.
That's what happens.
Much less than anybody else.
Toronto at Osprey Valley. That's what happens. It's a crucible. Everybody melts down to Burns.
These two play 18 4 times. It is a total pillow fight. Brendan, the boys in this Canadian Open playoff are just prepping us for the coming week of good, solid pars. Josh Carpenter has a Trevor quote from the broadcast. Trevor says, this has turned into a little bit of a pillow fight here on the broadcast. It is so bad that they recut the cup after 2 playings of the 3rd hole, and this takes like forever. This takes way too much time. They can't stop making pars.
Recut as in change the location.
Yes. Change the location. They push it closer to the water. So you have to, it's a little bit closer on the near side of the green, but they're taking on more of the water now after just nobody can make a birdie. Maybe they're hoping at this point for a bogey.
There was some big debate, hot debate, like, can you just go play the forward tee box and make this, like a driver 7-iron or whatever, something different? And they're like, no, we can't do that. But they're like cutting a different holes. I don't know.
Sam Burns on the third hole now hits his approach into the green, spins back all the way off the green, off the false front that is now in play with this new hole location. It almost goes in the water. So Foxy has the grandest opening of all time to just end this thing. If he can just make a 4, because Sam Burns has missed the green in 2.
Didn't he just have to 2-putt?
He just had to 2-putt. Yeah. He can't do it.
Yeah.
So we're going back. Sam Burns makes a 5 from almost going in the water. We're going back. 4th attempt. Foxy pulls. Lumber puts it to 7 feet. Says in the post-game press conference it's the best shot he's ever hit in his life. He still can't make the 3 from 7 feet, but he does make the 4. It's good enough. They give him a hockey jersey. Foxy has 2 playoff wins in the last month now, and I believe those are his only 2 top 25s of the entire season.
Really? Huh. Feels like okay. Interesting.
So that's it for Canada.
Congrats to Foxy. Myrtle Beach and TPC Toronto. 2 of the
cathedrals.
Yes, cathedrals. That's great. That was a good one. I forgot about Cameron Young go airmailing the green with hitting it too good.
I don't think I'm forgetting that for the rest of my life.
I mean, at that point, we're like, he can't win. He's not going to win. Can't win a golf tournament. Can't win on the PGA Tour. But maybe that was just fate. So he could end up with this nice fake round number later on in the season, Mr. 1000, come August. So should we swing out to the U.S. Open?
Let's
swing out to the U.S. Open, ready to go as we almost hit the 2-hour mark here. Let's just shout out. I'm going to shout out Unplanned Ad Read. Shout out the Pro Shop. Get a last-minute gift in the Pro Shop. You can print it out at this point. Maybe we ship it to you on time. Still a mom-and-pop shop. Maybe we do. Maybe we ship it to you on top. Go to proshop.thefriedegg.com, or you can buy a membership for a loved one and a friend. You can buy a membership to Fried Egg Golf Club. It's easy. You don't have to wait on shipping for that one. Just activate it right away. Get going there. Go to the Pro Shop. I would commend prints as a great gift. A print from the print shop, maybe at a course that means something to you, or it's your own club, or it's a place you go to frequently. That's a great gift idea. And we're pretty well stocked with stuff, whether it's layers, hats, what have you. Go to proshop.thefriedegg.com. All right, let's go to the U.S. Open. We're going to Oakmont. I have Monday through Wednesday, I believe. So let's get it fired up. Monday, Crentist coverage is really just flying and picks up. He's sort of he's trying to play the Michael Block role. He's not. I think they're like making him block.
So they need a block.
Trying to foist this upon him. Brentley's writing it. These couple months, I've just been so much time praying for strength, and I'm ready to find it. So we're fired up for Crentist coverage. I feel like Joseph was popping him. Joseph was dubious of his motivations, called him a thirst bucket or something like that.
He said, I don't want to make this week all about me, I think was the quote that people took issue with. I was not the only one. Let's just be clear about that.
People took issue with?
Yes.
The U.S. Open at Oakmont. I don't want to make this all about me. That's good. PJ is watching the AmFam and the media center, and multiple tweets about this. What's better than this? Guys being dudes. It's Bob Papa and Peter Jacobson are on this 100-foot screen in the media center.
It's incredible. We walk in, and it's just Bob Papa in the brightest pink shirt you've ever seen in your life.
Your New York accent kicked on, the brightest shirt you ever seen in your life. We learned that the media center dining is just a nice, not even slice, nice little cut from taking off media members' heads. Like there's media members lined up. The visual is on the YouTube show right now. I was shocked this didn't happen during the week. I got there, I was like, holy shit, they got us like sitting ducks out here. You asked the wrong question for the press conference. Somebody goes to the range, they could just pick us off. But yeah, no balls got shaked into the media center purposely or unintentionally. That was a great media center. Shout out to USGA. That was one of the best locations we've ever had. Pampered F's that week. It was not a good location. 2016, terrible. Just in the interest of balance. That was awesome though. Good shout out to the USGA. Johnny Vegas starts the week with conditioning and rough videos. He's like, shows this army of hand mowers going through the rough at Oakmont. It looks like rough that just is absolutely nowhere in play. It looks, like the walkway up 17.
I believe this is exactly where this is taken. It is like in front of the tee box on 17.
Yeah, the hill. It's still unplayable. Of course, we learned that like some of this hand walking mowing is not necessarily designed to cut it, but actually to fluff it up or cut it so it's more uneven, so balls fall. Mike McCormick does a great pod with Andy. I believe it was Andy that week, where it makes it a little more sort of uneven so balls can sit down instead of sit on top of like a evenly mowed table or plateau. But that starts maintenance videos are all the rage this week. The US Open sharing them of these like ants marching and this is just catnip. People are loving it with the kind of lined up hand mowing and the edging of the bunkers, and everybody's it's rough, and more rough chatter in the Monday through Wednesday. Xander is asked about his Xander app. Not asked about his Xander app, but
I don't remember.
He wasn't asked about the Xander app. But for someone who has his own app, this was kind of a curious sort of dismissal of this question. This is, of course, hot when YouTube golf was obviously hot and Bryce and all this stuff. Has any part of you ever wanted to create a Xander Schauffele YouTube account? Xander, is that like a serious question? And he's just, that's it. And Pete's just like, well, you have your own app. What do you mean? Like a YouTube account's a bridge too far? You developed your own app. What are we talking? Is that a serious question? So not a YouTube channel coming for Xander.
But there is an online membership.
It's Club Xander. Is that what it is?
Yeah. So where's the line, really?
We have our team outing. We go to the Buccos. We go to the Pirates. Who'd they play? Another dog team.
The Marlins.
Yeah. Marlins. That was fun. You were just a kid in the candy store visiting PNC Park. Had you been there?
No, that was my first time. It was number one on my list of ones that I needed, that I most wanted to go to. I was a total pig and shit. It was great.
It's a great outing with the whole crew. Cameron, Abby, Pete, Andy, Joseph, myself, PJ, of course. And we got the mascot there, whatever that is, Parrot.
It's not a great national anthem.
It wasn't. That's a good call.
I forgot about that. It was like a Carl Lewis situation with the national anthem. And Joseph's like laughing, like in front of, like, come on. He's like dishonoring our country. He's laughing during the anthem.
Yeah, come on.
Well, then relatives of the individual, the poor, I won't say who, person who was just singing it, are like in the row right behind us or next to us. And Joseph's like slapping me on the shoulder and laughing. I'm like, don't say it out loud. I mean, like, this is his or her moment. I remember.
It was a Draymond Green Fergie situation.
Yes.
It was bad.
It was bad.
Yeah. Sam Flood, the whatever title is, NBC chief, whatever, had taken control of Golf Channel in addition to other things, just goes nuclear on Live Golf for reasons that seems sort of just like swerving into traffic when he didn't have to. He said this Live stuff is almost a total sideshow. This might have been an interview with golf.com. I think James Colgan. The reality is their opportunity was when the tournament happened in Doral, and they had every name on the leaderboard, and no one paid attention. He said, that to me was the Live product is not relevant in this country. So that was a good get by Colgan, I think, at golf.com. But yeah. It was kind of weird and unnecessary. Like, yeah, we know why you're the head of a network, just stay out of it. Or, at that point, why are you going to bat for anybody on this? Stay indifferent. Zach Blair putts one from 120 plus yards down the first fairway at number one. This is kind of a legendary play that can happen at Oakmont. He does it extremely well.
Putter
Andy
from
is there with
120.
his camera, and this goes viral to the moon.
A lot of pressure.
He's playing with Bryson, you should note. Practice round, right?
Yes.
Oh.
Pretty cool. Ball rolling.
Is it enough?
It's way too much, isn't it? It's gone. It goes to it's like 8 feet.
This is so good.
It's like perfect.
So good.
Great shot.
Bryson.
The pan to Bryson.
How about that?
That's the most boring reaction I've ever seen.
What'd he say?
That's the most boring
reaction
I've ever seen.
Bryson needs him to be a showman, like just doing fist bumps and cartwheels down the.
Bryson's there with obviously his whole coaching entourage, but he's also got like 1,000 camera guys, and then it's just like me, Andy, Joseph, and ZB.
Well, I mean, you got a team egg there. What is ZB? That's just as good as the TikTok house boys filming content for Bryson.
They were very nice.
Yeah. Nothing good. Yep. That was cool. That was super viral. That's a play that, people do, but obviously when you get a pro, step up and then execute it. It was super cool. What else? Jason Day was wearing USA flag shorts. Australian. I believe he is Australian. It's like Sergio becoming Big Tex. But I assume this was Malbon. And this just everybody tweeted about this. There was way too much when I searched.
Well, this is a proud Ohioan who's somehow a Browns and Steelers fan.
Oh God,
that was this week.
Okay, I was going to say, did I miss that? Was that one of those days? Okay, that was after a round of play. I hope.
Yeah, I believe that was either like late Wednesday or early Thursday that comes out, and everybody's you are beside yourself.
He says he likes the Browns. It's ridiculous. I love Ohio State and Michigan. I love it. They announced the Utter Woke Nonsense group from the USGA, all lefties, Akshay, McCarty, and McIntyre, called the Utter Woke Nonsense group. So that was the USGA having some fun.
Not Phil.
No, Phil was not doing that yet. We had Phil was tweeting about Sable. I believe that was right. Coming in this week was the first time he tweeted about Sable. We had so many people trying to Andy got the viral moment. It was genuine. It was real, authentic of ZB. So many people just looking for viral hits, tossing balls on greens. Taylor made a count being one. This is at number 2, where they but I mean, they're throwing the ball at the pin from 3 feet. And it rolls all the way down off the front of the green. No ball is going to come in like that. And, they're just chucking it at the pin. It's not rolling.
They weren't trying to make it at all. They were trying to make it do this.
Go off the front of the green.
They succeeded.
Yeah. Anyways, there's so much of this. Somebody dropping in this rough that's 2 feet off the tee box. It's just all these people looking for these viral hits in the practice days. What else happens? Oh, Bryson says an 18 handicap would shoot 100 on the front 9 and 200 overall. There's a lot of this, what would a 5 handicap shoot this week? What would a 15 what would a 10 handicap? JT is I don't think they would finish. It would take 7 hours. There's a lot of that quizzing going around. Oh, Sam Flood does another interview with Josh Carver, I guess, because NBC was on the call here. There's no question match play would work for the PGA Tour playoffs. It would be dramatic for TV. And if it was done the right way, it could be one of the great moments in golf. So we've always heard TV is super anti-match play because it kills TV. That was a quote from this week.
Can't have Rory Scotty in the 3rd place game.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe this is the debut of Lunch with the Boys. Was there one that prior to Lunch with the Boys? Was this the dawn of Lunch with the Boys?
We did a thing during the PGA Championship internally, but this was the first guest.
Okay. Oh, right. Our Thursday afternoon Lunch with the Boys during Quail Hollow. This is Lunch with the Boys with a guest, whether he was willing or unwilling or held there hostage. Who could say? Can you roll this? I forgot how unhappy he was there to be.
It's not good.
All right, welcome back. Lunch with the boys, live on the range. First ever guest, Cameron Young. Cam, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, no problem.
5 top 10s in majors, Cameron, since the start of 2022. Only 4 golfers have more. What is it about major championship golf that brings out your best?
It's hard to say. I mean, I think I'm just suited for difficult golf. That seems to be when I'm at my best. And typically the scoring in majors is not real low. So I think that just tends to resonate with me. And mentally, I think it makes it a little easier for me in some ways.
And then one last question. Hallmark of our show. We ask everybody, every guest, we need to know, what is your favorite fruit?
Favorite fruit? I don't know, man. I feel like the strawberry is kind of a good one.
It's a good answer.
Yeah, I think that'd be a popular choice.
Down the middle.
Good.
Yeah.
All right.
Good luck
Cameron
this
Young.
week.
I don't know, man. Now, this is, I would say, Tuesday of a major championship. He's on the driving range, right? Did you say his coach was there? Like, what is going
His
on?
His dad. Yeah. That was, I think, the low point.
Caddy.
Somebody's
not
his dad,
happy
his coach. There were a couple people standing around waiting for him to hit balls. He's an hour until he was going to tee off for the practice round. He hadn't seen the golf course yet.
He had just shown up because he went home after Canada, shows up, and it's just us waiting there. Doesn't know we're there. Doesn't know who we are.
I started to ask him a question about TGL, and his dad just turned around and started walking the other way.
And then we asked like 3 more questions about TGL.
I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. Strawberry. No, we will, just in interest of full disclosure, the context. Yeah, it's Tuesday of a major. He just gets there. He has since come on again, lunch with the boys, and was eager to talk about fruit.
To be clear, he was actually very friendly when we. He was very friendly.
He was totally good. I think he just wanted to get his work in. He wanted to get his work in, and I think all fences are mended. We had a great conversation. We look forward to the next one. He was happy to talk about strawberries.
I think him not knowing who we were, followed by PJ saying first ever guest, was an interesting.
well, I mean that. We agreed that we should say that because it would be funny. Maybe I didn't think of how that would sound to the other person, but we thought it was good.
First ever guest. Oh, great. I'm the guinea pig here. Oh, good.
Whatever. I mean, we're off
with the boys. We're going.
That's it. That's the show, right? We show up and whatever happens, happens.
Also, Tuesday, Rory reveals he shot 81 with birdies on the last 2 holes in the practice round the week before, and everybody just clips this immediately. 81 with 2 birdies to close. We learned Josh Carpenter says Brian Rolap is now a leading candidate to be the CEO. It's the first time Rolap really starts to pull ahead and be publicly named as a likely candidate. Bryson says the Crushers have been EBITDA, I can never say this, earnings for interest, taxes.
I forgot that was this week. I would not have guessed that was this week.
They've been EBITDA positive in the last 2 years. Like, he doesn't know what that means, but he knows. Everybody's like, this can't be real.
Nobody knows what it means. It's provocative.
Can we check the tables on this? There's no way. But yes, he throws that out there. He unintentionally shades Winged Foot in a big way, where he won a U.S. Open. Talking about Oakmont. It's not like every single hole here is Winged Foot out here. You can't just bomb it on every single hole and blast it over the bunkers and have a wedge run up to the front of the green. So probably not well received in Mamaroneck or wherever Winged Foot is. So that got that. Their grounds crew is seen fluffing the rough late on Tuesday with blowers, not the mowers this time, but like leaf blowers. And they're just out there. Paolo Uggetti tweets this. They're fluffing up the rough, which leads to a lot of panic, irritation, and amusement. We were not the only ones to visit PNC Park. First pitch throwers this week included Jason Day, and Minwoo Lee. I don't know if they were Australians only allowed to throw out the first pitch for the Pirates, but 2 righties down there throwing out the first pitch at PNC Park. The USGA press conference, Fred Perpall had a good statement. Fred Perpall, I should say, the former, I forget the title, president of the USGA. Now Kevin Hammer in that role. Fred Perpall said, had a great statement on distance and sort of the downstream or the expanding butterfly effects of like distance and how this isn't just a professional golf ball go far problem. PJ, do you have that?
Governance is hard.
Governance
no
is
one
hard.
likes to be governed until we have to imagine a world without governance. And these issues around distance, these issues around equipment regulation, they're also issues around the sustainability of our sport. Bigger golf courses mean more expense. It means longer rounds. It literally excludes more people because we cannot afford more time and more dollars in the game. And so if you believe, like I do, that this game is a game that truly gives us the opportunity as Americans to come together, to demonstrate to the world that everyone's life gets better when we live life together. That's what golf offers us the opportunity to do. And that's why we're so passionate to get it right.
Yeah, kind of putting like the real facts, like it literally excludes people, more expense, more room. And it's not just a don't take my 400-yard drive away. He's been impressive on that, speaking on the subject since he was great at LACC. I know that 2023. And Andy loved that one this year at Oakmont. PJ went to the merch store and found a hat that is a literal drawing of an oak tree and then Mont.
This is the word. This
tree,
is the bottom of the barrel.
It's a tree and then says Mont, M-O-N-T. So I guess you're presuming it's an oak tree. And so it's Oak Tremont, Oakmont. I don't know what you can. Yeah, it's really terrible hat. That was in the merch tent. There's rumors this week that ESPN is going to get the USGA rights. I think there was some legitimacy to this. Like, several people reported, I'm sure Carpenter among others, that ESPN is in it with the USGA. That was kind of the state of play at this time. That was, NBC is going to lose the U.S. Open. ESPN seems like they're hot and they're going to get it. And then we would know by the end of the year. I forget when that NBC re-upped and ESPN fell out. There was a hilarious quiz on the U.S. Open scoreboards. They kept doing these fact quiz. It said, which television network did Arnold Palmer co-found? Golf Channel, Peacock, Back Nine Network, or ESPN? I tweeted, I guess he founded the Back Nine Network. Just ridiculous question. I think the person who made those questions reached out to me and said that they were throwing like catnip out there for that precise reason. That does it. There wasn't a lot, honestly, in these pre-tournament days. And that was what I wrote a little bit for the newsletter. Was like, it's a major that's been like remarkably settled with minimal setup or conditioning controversies, reunification, tension. Like we're just like kind of over talking about live drama or like these guys getting back together for this 1 week. And player uncertainty. Like there was Rory's driver was a thing, but otherwise, like we'd seen everybody play pretty well at Quail. The course, there wasn't a lot of like dispute other than there's a lot of rough. It's going to be hard. There wasn't anything like this hole could be goofy. It just was kind of there weren't, Kevin Na, let's cut down the rough. Like there wasn't a big drama. There was the Perpall statement. We figured, I wrote ahead of time since I gave myself a pat on the back for writing about Rory in the preview. I also said, Bryson is completely comfortable with his game, his place in the sport, and the challenge of a golf course that might have pushed him into a tantrum in his prior era. Well, it put him on the fritz, I think, pretty early. Oakmont, it did actually kind of mess with him. He was on the range with backpacks. Remember, see these backpacks full of crank driver heads? I think he had that at Pinehurst the year before as well. JT on Scotty said, I think his mental game is better than anybody out here. That's what really like impresses me. To be able to play with those expectations and to stay present as often as he has is, to me, maybe more impressive than even the golf he's playing. Majority of opinion, Scotty said it was the hardest golf course they will ever play. Dustin Johnson said that same. Like there was a lot of like, this is literally the hardest golf course we will ever play. pretty unanimous around that. And I propose, are we in a moment of guaranteed good leaderboards at majors? We talked about like Gregory Bordy was leading at 2016, or you get like these randoms at majors, but are we in a moment of guaranteed good leaderboards at the major? We're going on almost 5 straight years of top-ranked winners at the men's majors. The last 2 years have been a bonanza. Are there certain guardrails now where the elite skills of the best in the world get rewarded even more at the majors, leaving little room for breakthrough random? It's difficult not to see 2 of Bryson, Scotty, Rory, and Rahm battling late on Sunday. I think we were 0 for on that. And I said it's difficult not to see 2 of those 4. Bryson, Scotty, Rory, Rahm. Was Scotty
found his way into the top 10 by the end, but he was never in contention.
Okay. Well, let's go
to be
through
fair
that
to you.
now.
As much as we're going to joke about it being fluky, like it wasn't that like Spawn.
It
was real players at the time.
Yeah. He's been, relative to recent years, maybe not the most accomplished winner for sure, but he had a strong season to that point. Not total shock to see him playing well. Let's get to the actual rounds that matter.
The only thing you skipped, PJ did caddy for Zach Blair in the practice.
Oh, I had that. Shoot, I almost have put that in.
You want to play? I made a little highlight.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
here we go.
I put that in the asset.
Yeah, that's not good right there. No.
This is the most embarrassing moment of my life, I think. Raking this bunker with hundreds of people watching me. I think that's the bottom.
Big day for the boys, huh?
Thank you. Huge day. First in-person meeting with Cameron Young. Did not disappoint.
What do you think about PJ's performance?
Caddy? Yeah. I think we may have a Jesus carrying the cross situation where Simon had to help him carry the cross, and after Jesus stumbled, I'm a little worried that PJ may go down and may need a Simon.
The stick wasn't in the center of the fairway. I had the stick.
Yeah.
Not really like a great game.
We got left
there.
and right edge.
PJ kind of hobbling down the fairway with the big tour bag as he beat. That was a great day for the boys. I mean, Bryson was in the group.
Boys.
Yeah,
got a lot of Bryson content. It was great. It was chopping it up.
I forgot. I did put that in the assets. That was a good.
That's a perfect transition to Thursday. ZB's in the second group. Birdie's the first hole. He's winning the U.S. Open. We tweet out, SGS tweets out over the top of the video of me caddying. It's all about preparation. That's it. And the tournament there. We're on the shuttle. We're watching it on the phones. We're popping on the shuttle. It's great. The group before that, though, do you remember who hit the first tee shot of the United States Open?
Was it the Crentist?
It was the Crentist.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
The Crentist, Matt Vogt hits the first tee shot. I'm happy.
Didn't he hit it like way left in between like 1 and 9 or something?
Yes, I think so.
Or cavity.
He's found a cavity. It's a great one. Also early, just all these groups going out early. So balls are flying left and right. Max Moldovan holes out from eagle from like 190 on the top of the hill on 1.
God, that's
just goes
crazy.
Right down. Great way to start for him. That's big catnip, like super early in the morning.
Yeah.
We have some terrible outfits out early.
Okay.
The X app is wearing a Neapolitan ice cream sandwich shirt. This is a Porter tweet. A Fireballs group, and somehow Xander has by far the worst scripting as he's playing with by a stare. Wyndham is joining him. Wyndham Clark is dressed like a paint sample, says Will Knight. He's wearing monochrome gray.
Yeah.
Total groutfit for Wyndham. So just bad scripting right away. Catnip, BG putting from like halfway down the hill to the green on 1. Obviously much closer than Zach Blair was during the practice round, but he's putting facing sideways using the slope of the green. His back is to the pin.
Yeah.
People are in on that. Rory starts on 10. He gets to 12, which is a downhill par 5. Unloads on a ball, goes 392 yards, hits this ball into the crosswalk on 12, all the way down the hill. There's a speed slot at about like 315 that runs all the way down the hill. There's some good speed slot.
I mean, it's soggy too, though. Still,
yes.
Right? I mean, it's wet.
It was. I mean, it was wet all week. It never dried out. So 392, even with the speed slot at that point, is a bomb. The TV coverage is apparently terrible. We weren't there, so we can't We can't attest to this, but here's an egg tweet with USA Network choosing between the buttons of show golf and run ads and sweating. Apparently, it was really bad. This is Andy's thing that you can't have a lot of commercials before 9 a.m. because it's just a slap in the face to everybody who got up early. This is your core audience who's watching golf before 9 a.m. and you're just ad. So apparently, it's a disaster. There are a lot of tweets about how bad it is.
Okay.
You have your tweet of John Peterson warming up on the range.
Remember that? His first alternate.
He's the first alternate. I'm trying to
totally empty range. He's just hitting balls, like the loneliness of the just waiting around to get in.
Totally empty. Like nobody out there because it's between waves, so nobody in the afternoon wave is out there yet.
Should have got a Pulitzer for this photo. It's a good photo.
It's a great photo. Total emptiness. Other early morning amusements. Ricky Kawamoto is wearing a Stormtrooper shirt.
What is that?
It's a Callaway shirt
Japan.
with literally a Stormtrooper on it.
Yeah. Like that is like officially Star Wars licensed, but it's a giant Stormtrooper on the front of his shirt. Okay.
I don't get it. Shane Lowry throws a microphone after he duffs a chip on 17. This is obviously a precursor to step 2 of the Shane Slam of saying fuck this place about every major venue. But he's throwing microphones. This is at like 9 a.m. on Thursday.
He's said it about everyone but Augusta National this year, right?
Yes. Well, that we have video of.
Okay.
You don't know what he said about it.
It's on Hot Mike. You got caught saying about 3 or 4. Okay.
Yeah. On the record, at least. Bryson finds himself in a bizarre rules controversy on the 4th hole early in the morning. He hits his drive into the crosswalk and wants to take a drop. So he tells Jibo to pick it up, doesn't mark it. He looks around, looks at his options. He goes, no, I'm just going to play it from the landing spot. So they go back again to a not marked landing spot. They just guesstimate where it's going to be. He has a rules official out there. They decide on a spot. He places the ball down without dropping it and is about to hit it. He is addressing the ball, and the rules official comes running from off screen into the picture and says, hey, you got to drop it. You can't just put it down. You have to drop it. So she saves him a shot early. Everybody is like, how? It's too early in the morning for this. How is this already happening? Bryson has found himself in a completely precarious position that somehow only Bryson would find himself in. Rory is caught right of 4 in the long stuff. He's hacking it out. It takes him three shots to just get out of this.
Oh, I forgot about this.
Rory's having a tough go of it early
crazy.
Here.
Yeah.
He's hacking it around, just trying to get through the front 9.
A very hard golf course, obviously, but they made him look. A lot of these guys look like they were 10 handicaps, just trying to get back to the fairway.
So as I said, he started on the back. He went out in 33 on the back. He played well, and then a 41 coming in. He ends the round 8 back of JJ Spawn in the league. Joseph, you have a great tweet here. Scored a par discourse before noon on Thursday. It's just the mouse gif coming in and coming back out. A lot of guys are under par early. There are like 30 guys under par. All of the discourse is, I thought this was supposed to be hard. The morning wave is everybody's out of control. Obviously, this evens out by even the end of the day. But the morning wave discourse was out of control. It was some of the dumbest tweets I've ever seen, especially looking back on it. You have some quotes from the morning wave here. Siwoo Kim, who shot a 68, he was T3 by the end of the day. Quote, honestly, I don't even know what I'm doing on the course. Kind of hitting it good, but I feel like this course is too hard for me. So kind of like no expectation, but I played great today. That's from Siwoo. Bob McIntyre, even par 70, called it one of the 10 best rounds of his career and said, quote, you shoot 4 level par rounds, you're walking away with a medal and a trophy. He was basically almost correct on that, and he almost did it himself. Highlight of the day, sorry to Max Moldovan, you thought you had it. P makes an albatross. 4th albatross in the history of the United States Open.
What hole?
He was 4.
Okay.
Hits it, makes an albatross, doesn't know that it goes in.
was
Kind of like
blind.
the Masters, obviously, is just like shrugging.
Yeah, nobody knew. Yeah, that's right.
He gets it in. Fourth albatross in the history of the U.S. Open, has a great quote post round. There's 71 other holes we have to play in a round. One hole doesn't mean jack, to be honest with you. And then somebody follows up, to our readers, it actually means a little. And he cuts him off and he says, it was a 3-wood I hit from 287 and it went in.
Oh my God. What a it's just mad he has to talk about it.
I
Obviously
believe
it would be 4. I don't think anybody was getting home much on 12, right?
I believe he tripled 18.
Yeah.
And was
so
pissed
he was
off.
like, okay. All right.
Which, still understandable.
Got it.
Scotty finds the pews on both 3 and 4. Goes left on 3, goes and goes back in on 4. Everybody gets out of control because he's birdies 2, but he makes bogeys from the pews on 3 and 4. 3:58 p.m. on Thursday. Joseph, I have to give you credit for this. Joseph tweets, Scotty Scheffler is not winning this golf tournament.
Oh, people did not like that.
People did not like that. I believe he is even par or at the worst 1 over. It was really hard to see exactly where he was, but obviously not dead at all. He's not playing well, but he's not dead. Joseph is going out on a limb here. People are livid, and people come back to this tweet. Potentially, even the funniest part about it is people come back to this after he finishes the day 3 over and are like, duh, he's 3 over. And you're just responding to everybody, check the timestamp, check the timestamp, check the timestamp. People are not happy about this. Scotty decides to smash his club. He's very unhappy. This is some of the most outward emotion we've seen from Scotty, some frustration. There are a lot of sirens on the soundboard on Thursday night, especially. So Scotty has a 73. He's 3 over. Other catnip of the day, the old man in the Ben Hogan shirt. I was Ben Hogan's caddy at the 1953 U.S. Open at Oakmont, Pennsylvania. Brendan goes over the top from the shotgun account, calls it the thirst bucket move of the week.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like, what are you broadcasting? This big shirt.
Adam Schefter botches the rollout of Brian Rolap being named PGA Tour CEO. He gets the internal memo from the NFL announcing that Rolap is leaving without saying to the PGA Tour. But he says that he's leaving his post as the league's EVP to become PGA commissioner.
Oh.
And every golf person is just like, shut up, you don't know what you're talking about. That's not Jay Monahan is still here. It's very funny that Schefter then has to edit his tweet, issue a correction that he's becoming the CEO and not the commissioner. Obviously something that was planned for a while, but still the rollout was botched up. I thought that was funny to look back on. Andy has a great tweet just over the top of Schefter's tweet there. I don't know very much about Mr. Rolap, but hiring a respected executive from a very successful sports league feels like adding Nikola Jokic to a high school basketball team, which he's equating to the current PGA Tour leadership. So people are in the replies, both critiquing Andy's take and asking, what if we added Ben Johnson to the Bears instead? I figured Andy would get a kick out of that if he makes it to this point to listen to it. Victor Hovland gets hot. Birdies 9, 10, and 11 consecutively for a 71. This is like right in the midst of I don't know what my swing is. He gives another post round here of I don't know how to feel. He's putting horrifically. This continues into Friday, but is obviously squarely in contention for the duration of the tournament, but cannot putt at all. Other people involved before we get to JJ Spawn. Brooks Koepka finishes birdie for 3 under. For 3 under, he's T3. He has a quote to media on Bethpage after the round when everybody was like, is this back in a Bethpage situation? Quote, the question is, everyone always points back to the comment at Bethpage. 5, 10 players, whatever, can win this week. Do you still think of yourself that way, or has it changed at all? I don't talk about it. You guys talk about it. But it was your quote is the question. He said, it was. I said it once, and now everybody repeats it. So everybody is like, oh, he's playing well. He's starting to become, a little itchy with the media. Is Brooks back? Narrator, no, unfortunately. Thriston, don't call me Thurston. Lawrence is solo second after Thursday, squarely in contention. Andy writes up Rasmus Niergaard Peterson after 1 under 69. John Rahm and Cam Young are also 1 under after Thursday. John Rahm is the betting favorite after the first round. Tony Finau, this is just a fun little Easter egg here. This is like late. He's like the last guy on the course, ships it into the grandstand and almost gets picked up by a volunteer, gets a drop on 18, and I think makes birdie from said drop, but that's just a funny visual. Story of the day, obviously, is JJ Spawn. He goes out in the 6th group out off of 10, sets the inward 9 record of a 31. He's out of his mind. I sent the text. I went back because I knew I sent this text to my dad. I said, Brendan and I are going out to watch Spawn play the front 9. In case he shoots a 63, somebody should probably be there to see it. He does not shoot a 63. She's a bogey-free 66 to have the solo lead at 4 under. Brendan, I don't know how much you remember about the front 9.
I do.
This man would not die. He was making everything he looked at, every par save. He was unbelievable putting. 6 made par putts of 7 feet or longer, including a 16-footer on 6 and an 8-footer on 8. He was.
Yeah, it felt so tenuous, not sustainable that he's played great golf this year, but at some point all these 8-footers and 12-footers aren't going to go in. He's he's not winning this major. He's there's no chance he's winning because he can't keep doing this.
Basically what you say in the newsletter. You refer to him saying that he's 84th in strokes gained putting on the tour. At some point, we're going to come back to earth here. You award him the Andrew Landry Award.
Whoops. Which is, of course, the guy who shows up on an early leaderboard. And
that was 2016.
There's no chance. Yeah. Whoops.
You on the podcast that night say it was kind of a miracle, referring to the front 9, which honestly it was. It was unbelievable. He was making everything he looked at. And he says JJ Spawn is an awesome fit here due to not having to be long. Rory is some of these longer guys. Rory's hitting 3-wood, whereas on 17 is the example he cites, whereas it's a perfect driver length for JJ Spawn. You don't have to be overly long. The rough is neutering the distance advantage. However, Andy says that JJ Spawn at 4 under is not the actual leader of the tournament. Brooks Koepka is at 2 under. So, he's a great fit, but nobody expects this tomfoolery cannot continue from JJ Spawn. Andy hammers the point home. This setup is begging for a fluky winner. Quote. That is the main point of Thursday night's podcast.
Yeah. Didn't he get popped for or there was some back and forth with different people about this, I think.
Now I have two quotes from JJ Spawn after his round, bogey 366. Quote, the players was sort of a kind of spring into the self-belief because it wasn't like I faked it. Yeah, maybe you can fake it at the Sony and Cognizant or whatever else. We can't fake it at the players. And he also reveals that he's been taking inspiration for his great season to this point from the 2004 rom-com Wimbledon, starring Paul Bettany and Kirsten Dunst, in which a journeyman tennis pro sparks a late career resurgence and wins the Wimbledon tournament. Maybe that could be me, he says in the Thursday press conference.
I remember you were I think it was you or Joseph. One of you guys were so into this.
I was eating up the movie. I was eating up I've never heard of this movie before. This is incredible.
Yeah.
We move to Friday. I want to start on Friday by wishing you all a happy National Golf Cart Day.
There we go. That was this week.
Andy anoints National Golf Cart Day is the winner of the worst golf content of the day.
On Golf Digest, to be clear.
Golf Digest
has
a paid sponsorship with EasyGo. Use code Golf Digest to get $500 off your own personal golf cart. Everybody is just relentlessly dunking about this. But I'd be remiss if I did not wish the two of you retroactively a happy National Golf Cart Day. That's how I wanted to start this. Big story of the day here is alternate routes are being found across the course. Jon Rahm accidentally goes left of the pews on 3, going back up the hill, and plays up from the fairway on 4. People are starting to take this approach after he does. Russell Henley does the same thing. He's in the pews. He plays out to the left to the fairway of 4 to go back up the hill. Andrew Novak plays down 12 to play 14. So the alternate routes are starting to come into play here. People are kind of up in arms in that early in the morning, saying, do we need internal? Should there have been an internal OB? People are starting to figure out that maybe the straight path is not always the best. JT 4 putts for a double bogey on 12. Andy says later that night after JT misses the cut, maybe we should probably start saying that not every major course is a perfect fit for Justin Thomas, because we haven't seen
Lamagna was all over this. Weren't you, Lamagna? Week day 1, you're like, he has no chance to win here the way he drives it. Aren't you saying
JT?
that?
Yeah, I mean, I feel that way about most major venues
Yeah,
right now. JT,
right,
but yeah.
right,
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
right. I remember that week though. You were very specific.
Yeah, yeah.
Like he had won at Harbor Town. I don't know why people were on JT, but yeah.
Scotty's got crazy feet on 15. This is like the craziest one that we've ever really seen. He's not playing well. He's struggling.
Ridiculous.
He's struggling. He bogeys 15, 17, and 18. He is having a tough time. Andy and I catch him on 17 and 18. We are just lapping it up. All crime is legal. Andy tweets, there could be lawlessness this weekend. I go over the top with, for the next 48 hours, all crime in Oakmont is legal because it looks like he's missing the cut. So we are lapping this up. Going with the purge. Everything is legal. Obviously, Scotty Scheffler finishes T7, so nothing matters at the end of the day. Anyway, it's all irrelevant. We haven't gotten to nothing matters, Scotty, yet, but we will. He was right. He finds the pews again. He makes another bogey on 3 and slams his driver on the tee box. Scotty is very visibly frustrated for the first time in a long time, maybe the first time all year. He heads to the range for like an hour with Randy Smith. He has his hat on sideways. He's totally disheveled. He's screaming. He's flipping clubs. He's out of his mind. He is totally pissed. This is also the day that Spieth is on the range for like 3 hours with Greller. He's sitting down in the rain. Yeah. These two, the Texas Longhorns, you said it on the podcast, bad day for them on the range. Depressed, sad boys, Texas Longhorns, not having a great day. Brooks Koepka and Victor Hovland both chip in on 17 to get one shot bat of the lead. Brooks basically explodes from here. Bogey's 18 to give it right back. 74 on the day, is still T8 heading into the weekend, so it's not over until it's over, but it's definitely not on. Victor Hovland steers it in on the front as they make the turn for a 68, stands solo third despite the terrible putting. I believe he's second in the field in 3 putts to this point through 2 days. He cannot really make anything, but is still solo third. Andy anoints him the actual leader of the tournament at 1 under. Sam Burns has a solo lead after 36 holes at 3 under. He shoots a 69 or a 65 with 6 birdies, a back 9, 31. Brentley has a great tweet here. His putting was unbelievable. He made a couple of complete bombs. People are saying, oh, this is why he's the best putter on tour. Brentley has a tweet of him hunting, holding up the squirrel as a hunting trophy instead of a deer, the giant Oakmont squirrel. I laughed out loud when I found this last night. This is a hilarious visual. So Sam Burns is up here. JJ Spawn bogeys 18 for a 72 to give him the solo lead. Now, as I mentioned, Jon Rahm was the betting favorite heading into today. 75 for Rahm with just 1 birdie after the round. Question, can you put the score in perspective given how tough this course is? Answer, honestly, I'm too annoyed and too mad right now to think about any perspective. Very frustrated. Very few rounds of golf I played in my life where I think I hit good putts and I didn't sniff the hole. So it's frustrating. So Jon Rahm was in contention. Grumpy boy, not happy with his second round 75. What else do we have? We have the Pittsburgh Steelers jump Joseph and I in line for an unnamed lunch with the boys that we're teasing at this point. But we have Andy's interaction with Jack Sawyer, Will Howard, in which he asked, where would Pittsburgh rank in Ohio, and also immediately says, you guys only won the Big Ten because you didn't play Illinois, which I'm sure the national champions appreciated.
Forgot about that.
That was fantastic. Rory doubles one. He finds himself in a bunker on the left, has to go out sideways. He has a 72, makes the cut. Looked incredibly dicey for a little while, whether he's going to see the weekend. Tomahawks his club on 12. Pace of play is like a total disaster at this point. Here's the club in midair. Pace of play is a total disaster. At one point, the 12th hole has 5 groups on it. Thirsty Boys group. Thirsty is in second place. His group plays the back 9 in 3 hours and 7 minutes. I was looking for the exact time. So pace of play is like out of control. With the rough, it's wet. Nobody can make a putt. This is just a total disaster. Victor Perez makes an ace on 6, only ace of the tournament. I'll just call that out. Brennan, this might have been your moment of the tournament. I don't even know if you remember this consciously. Mike Tirico, consummate professional, gets on the broadcast and says this.
You never know what you're going to get. Just look at the leaderboard. 2 guys who played only once in the U.S. Open, in Thurston Lawrence, I should say, and J.J. Spawn.
Mike Tirico calls him Thurston. Don't call me Tristan Lawrence.
I forgot about this.
And you go on the live show and you tell everybody criticizing you, look at that. Mike Tirico can't even do it.
The ultimate pro, Mike Tirico gets slipped up, then don't get off me for calling him Thurston.
Shane Lowry is $1 billion over par at this point. He picks up without marking on 14. You and I are there to see it.
Oh, yeah.
Person. Rory and Rose are just loving it. All of them are like doubled over, dying of laughter.
He didn't mark his ball.
Just picks it up. He finishes 17 over through 2 days. This is a guy that had the 54-hole lead the last time that the U.S. Open was here. Hits the F this place on 4 in the morning before he forgets to mark his ball at 14. So we've checked that box. We've checked that box.
F that place. Yep.
I don't remember this at all. Probably because we were watching TV, but I don't remember reading about it. Johnny Miller joins the booth for the afternoon. Twitter is very, very. You don't remember this either? I had no recollection at all that this happened. But here he is. He's in the booth. He's chopping it up in there for the afternoon. Twitter gets a big kick out of that. Dan Hicks signs off the broadcast. Johnny Miller, my forever partner. People are very happy to see Johnny back. This is more sad than funny, but I do want to just bring it up. Note, because we've talked about him a bit in this episode already. 5:25 p.m. The United States Open account tweets, Phil Mickelson is well inside the cut line with 7 holes to play. Phil Mickelson does not make the cut. He loses that within the next 7 holes. People are wondering if this is it for his historic U.S. Open career. I have a KVV tweet here. Honestly, no, Stark. If this is the end of Phil and U.S. Opens, I just want to say I enjoyed the hell out of it. The American Sisyphus is what he calls him. So everybody, this is just a very looks like a deer in headlights in scoring. Looked like he at least would see the weekend, and it all spiraled very, very quickly there.
Was this when he was in the locker room? And it was or in the parking lot. It was pouring rain, and he's giving stuff away to people. Yeah, sorry.
No, you're totally good. What else do we have? Where is this? Neil Shipley was a big point of conversation going in. He had to final qualify, but he was an Oakmont member, and everybody was like, oh my God, how great is this going to be? He did not get in. Did that stop the U.S. Open from being thirsty and miking him up for the Friday round and making a video out of it? No, it absolutely did not. It absolutely did not do that. I just wanted to call that out. Honestly, feel kind of bad for the guy. Wanted to play in this, did not get in, but is still getting
people are exploiting
for content.
Yeah.
Potentially the moment of the tournament for reasons that are not this moment, but I will. I'll just show it anyway. The gentleman Thorbjorn Olesen gets caught in an unexpected shower late Friday. and misses the cut by 1 after a double bogey on the 9th hole. As it is just absolutely pouring rain. He's out there late. He's right on the line. He gets caught in what will then be known as an unexpected shower.
That ad read for Echo was tough.
That's Saturday.
Gentleman.
I don't know if Joseph has that, but
The gentleman, Mr.
Yeah, I have
Arnold.
The gentleman, Mr. Torby Olson, misses the cut. Gone fishing, missed the cut. Bryson, JT, Ludwig, Shane Lowry, Patrick Hanley, Joaquin Neiman, Tommy Fleetwood, Sepp Straka, Wyndham Clark are all among those who will not see the weekend. Bryson naturally finds himself at the range in the practice area, hitting balls, chatting up, giving clubs away to the kids after he misses the cut, looking very pensive here in a tweet from Claire. We do the live show at Local Remedy in the tanks of in the tanks of beer.
Yeah.
This is tweeted out because my laptop looks ginormous due to the camera positioning. It's a meme of your 2 laptops is number 6 and number 13 is par 3s, and then me is the 289 8th hole par 3 because my laptop does admittedly look ginormous. Your leaderboard with just 3 players under par after all that hemming and hawing on Thursday morning, where only 10 guys under par on Thursday. Excuse me. 3
You're
remain
good.
on Friday. Sam Burt's 3 under, JJ Spawn 2 under, Victor Hovland 1 under. The rest of your top 5, Adam Scott and BG, still on the heater. T4 at even par. Joseph, I hand it off to you.
Good stuff. Good job, PJ.
Yeah, that's very thorough. I'm probably not going to have as many notes on Saturday.
That's
at
fine.
least.
That's fine.
Saturday, honestly, not. I think the action on the course, there's not that. Like, people play fine. Burns and Spawn are kind of trading blows. The morning starts with Johnny Miller and Jack Nicklaus doing a press conference, which I think is
I
one of the
remember
more
that.
notable things.
I don't remember
that happened during the day. And Brendan, you loved a quote from Johnny Miller on how he got his caddy. So he said, if you wanted to caddy in the U.S. Open back in his time, you just put your name in a hat, so to speak. In my caddy, I asked him, well, where do you caddy? Are you a pretty good player? He said, no, I'm a caddy. And I've never caddied for anybody before that broke 90. You loved that.
I mean, yeah. Think about the pampered Fs having to do that nowadays, having to navigate that.
A few highlights from the day. Rory talks to media. This is the big. Rory has been skipping media. Something's on his mind, a little cold and distant with some of his responses after when he does, in fact, speak to the media on Saturday. PJ, do you have this clip?
Oh, yeah.
No, not really. It's more a frustration with you guys. But yeah. I'm just, I don't know. I mean, I've been totally available for the last few years. And I'm not saying maybe not you guys, but maybe more just the whole thing. The whole driver thing. Yeah, part of I mean that was a part of it. That was a part of it. But it's not as if like at Augusta I skipped you guys on Thursday. So it's not as if it's not out of the ordinary. I've done it before. I'm just doing it a little more often.
Is it part of the? That's kind of the big story of the day, at least, until later in the night when we get another breaking news story broken originally by Tron Carter that somebody has damaged a locker at Oakmont. PJ, can you pull that one up? Wyndham Clark has broken a locker at Oakmont, and this kind of takes over Saturday night. And much to our amusement, this is an ongoing story. It sounds like it has still not been resolved. And this kind of following the whole PGA Championship, Wyndham kind of blowing up. This is not the best installment of his PR campaign in 2020.
No, that can't be. I started this episode with a sincere apology for his actions. That can't be.
From T-Mobile. God, I don't think this has been fixed.
It feels like every 2
there
weeks.
went and checked on it for it. Yeah, I don't.
There's a new tweet. It feels like every 2 weeks this is still not fixed.
And of course, these are like considered antiquities and, prized relics. And there's a lot of sentimental people, historians that were like honestly thought he should be, beheaded in the town square for this kind of behavior. It was sort of like, it's bad. It's totally classless, bad guy, or bad action. And yeah, but then there was also some like backlash to this that was kind of beyond the pale. Like he should lose his exemption for 10 years. I don't know. There's somewhere in the middle. Like it can't be. It's not excusable anyway, though. So, God, this is fun.
That's that. Other notes from the day. Again, it's mostly Sam Burns and JJ Spawn kind of hanging out at the top. Adam Scott comes up the leaderboard, and people are taking note of his ball speed. He's in like the high 180s, and I don't think people have really seen how much gas was in the tank for Adam. Also just cool, on Friday night, he had a quote, "This is all I'm really playing for, are these big events. It's probably 8 of them off the top of my head a year that I really want to win." So being pretty transparent about it just being about the major championships at this point in his career. And going into Sunday, Adams won back in the final group of Sam Burns. Like that obviously takes on a life of its own, and people are very invested in Adam Scott winning. Victor Hovland's in the mix. He has a cool quote late on Saturday night. He ends up grinding on the range. I don't know exactly how long that session was, but he's out there late. But the quote he gives before he goes to the range, it's like, sure, we would all like to win. That's why we practice so hard. But there's also a deep passion in me that I want to hit the shots. And people kind of run with that, enjoy that for the golf purists out there. Victor just wanting to hit the shots. Other than that, you guys do a great ad read for Echo about the gentleman that PJ has already alluded to. Don't think we have that one queued up, but believe that's around the 24-minute mark on the Saturday at the U.S. Open, if people want to go back and revisit that. Brendan says, all right, in between laughing about 6 times in a row, trying to keep it together. And I'd recommend people revisit that one. Does anybody else have any major notes from Saturday? There wasn't a whole lot going on Saturday. Go ahead, PJ.
I have one. Cam Young hits every green and plays like the best round of his life and only gets a 64 out of it, which would prove pivotal.
64 only?
I think it was.
Why isn't 64 a good score? What do you mean only gets a 64?
It might have been more, but I remember he missed
69. He shot 69.
69. That's what it was. He didn't get enough out of it. He had evergreen and still couldn't putt after all that. And he still ended up in like 3rd putting for the week. He was still a really good putter, but he did not get enough out of that round.
When did like the rain really start coming? Like I know there were like multiple like storms where they're like big. I just remember being constantly scared all week that my car was going to get stuck in the lot.
Yes.
If we didn't get out ahead of like a big storm.
I think Saturday we left really early because it was going to rain. Okay. And we were like, this isn't worth it.
Okay.
That's a big talking point. The overall, like the slog of the tournament is kind of, there's the underlying tension throughout this tournament of like, is this a good setup? And that kind of, that the leaderboard, like there's this little undercurrent of people not wanting to be too negative, but also being like, this kind of stinks. Like there's no recovery.
Yeah.
It was Saturday. That's at the forefront of people's minds. Other than that, it's a pretty uneventful Saturday as far as major championships go.
We lost a lot of big names at the cut line too. You know? And like I remember Rory was this the day Rory smashed the tee marker at 17.
Friday.
Okay.
That was I forgot.
Where he sliced. I saw that in my research where he just splintered it. And then where he did the club throw and it bounces back to him. That might have been Sunday.
That's Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's Friday on 17.
Yeah. So it's just like, I don't know. Rory became a big story. The like weather, like Oakmont's great, but it was also just Oakmont. It was just like kind of.
It was kind of bad. Let's be honest.
Yeah, didn't have a lot of zip. Didn't have a lot of zip.
I think your description just there of the slog is like the perfect word for it. It was just grinded out and everybody was exhausted.
It was hard to walk. It was muddy. You know, we are generally a company where like if you're on site, you walk, you get out there and go and see as much as possible. And Andy is obviously, very strongly believes that, and I do. And like both of us were like, I don't know, it's kind of like a mess out there. And it's like humid, but also it just wasn't. This is not like meant as a complaint. It just didn't have a lot of buzz in a way that some other ones have. Even like 98 degrees at Pinehurst, it just didn't have a lot of buzz. I don't know.
I think part of what it was, especially rewatching a lot of the coverage, there's a lot of hitting a ball in the rough, chopping it out to the fairway and trying to get up and down from 80 yards and hit like 12 footers. That's a lot of what the rewatching the coverage back looks like. I also think this is a huge week, just something we haven't touched on, for how blatantly obvious being in the bunkers was as an advantage over being in the rough. And that's a big talking point. Faxon talks about it on Sunday. Like, if that ball's in the bunker, it'll be all right. If it hung up in the rough, he's got a problem. It's just like, wait a minute. How backwards is the sport right now that's what we're dealing with? But only other note I have from Saturday night, at the end of Rory's presser, they say, what are you looking forward to tomorrow? And Rory says, like, hopefully around and under 4.5 hours and get out of here. So I think that was emblematic of the attitude of a lot of people Saturday night. Going to Sunday, final pairing, we have Sam Burns and Adam Scott, and then JJ Spaun and Victor Hovland are the penultimate pairing. Carlos Ortiz is even going into Sunday, and I don't know how much people remember, but Carlos Ortiz was very live to win this tournament.
That was crazy, dude.
Throughout Sunday.
Oh yeah.
Really?
I think he might have had the lead at one point.
He had a share. It looked for a little bit like, especially because he was out ahead and everyone was backing up and making big numbers. Like, Carlos Ortiz might legitimately win this golf tournament. Ends up blowing up on 15 like everybody does. 15 just ejects people all throughout the weekend.
I remember that.
I think that the main highlights from the day, JJ Spawn's start to the day is just a huge, especially revisiting it with the knowledge that he won. He's 5 over through his first 6 holes, and the most notable thing that happens is on 2, he hits the flag stick and it comes rolling back towards him, like way off the front of the green.
Yep, I was there for that.
Yeah, I would you could argue that through 3 holes, he hadn't really hit a bad shot, and he was 3 over and almost like out of the tournament. So
we just assume he's out. He's done. All right, here's the implosion in the first hour of the final round. Goodbye.
Yeah, but everybody's kind of struggling. Like, even Sam Burns is still hanging in there. Adam Scott's hanging in there, but the golf, nobody's hitting 6 irons to 12 feet and making birdie. It's a little bit of a slog. We get to the 8th hole, and that's when the rain really starts to come down. I kind of forgotten about this. Sam Burns is standing on the 8th tee with a driver. It's playing 300 yards, pouring rain. And I don't know if you PJ, you're nodding like you remember this.
He's waiting for the horn. Wasn't he waiting for them to blow it before he
total
did?
rain delay? Yeah.
He backs off the shot, like starts regrip, wiping his hands off and stuff. And then that's when the whistle, he gets a favorable whistle there. So it's actually a pretty big moment in the tournament, because if he'd had to hit that in the pouring rain, would have been a big deal. We get an hour and a half delay.
I mean, it ends up balancing out at the end with you kind of get jammed on the potentially standing water relief.
Well,
no, I mean,
you would have to deal with that either way, but
right. But okay.
JJ Spaun references this delay as being a positive inflection point for him and alludes to the Players Championship, where there was also a delay, and JJ Spaun comes out of that delay and plays good golf at Sawgrass, as
found his
regarding
meditation
Oakmont.
Yeah.
He says, I thought it was a good thing having the delay. It happened to me at the Players earlier this year, where I was kind of struggling on the front 9. I had the lead going into Sunday, and we had a 4-hour delay, I think, and I ended up turning it around. So it's kind of an interesting moment for JJ to draw back on. As it stands at the rain break, Sam Burns is 2 under, Adam Scott is 1 under, Victor Hovland's even, Tyrrell Hatton is 1 over. He ends up being a really big part of this tournament. And
I was going to say, I don't remember when he came into the conversation, but he was definitely in it.
I think massively, like, we talked about a lot of what ifs. Tyrrell Hatton he had a really, really strong opportunity to win this golf tournament. He missed a 2-footer, 3-footer on the first hole, and then he ends up getting an all-time bad break on 17, where his ball is about to go into the bunker on the drivable 4, if people remember the 17th, and then it hangs up. So, and he's just completely dead. Ends up making bogey on 17 and 18.
Mm-hmm.
I believe he ends up losing by 4, so it doesn't look as. I think he finishes at +3, and JJ Spaun ends up winning at 1 under. But if he gets a little bit of a better break on 17, it is probably a pretty different story. So Tyrrell Hatton, underrated part of this story. The big moment that happens, JJ Spawn makes a couple putts, makes bombs on both 12 and 14, makes a 40-footer on 12 for birdie, pretty long putt on 14, and he's the solo leader walking off 14, ends up bogeying 15, kind of multiple times during this back nine. It's completely up for grabs. There's 5 people tied for the lead. There's 4 people tied for the lead. Then Sam Burns and Adam Scott get to 15, and this is where the tournament kind of, probably the most attention of one moment is when Sam Burns asks for relief down the right side of 15. So that's a fairway that slopes really hard from left to right. The water has collected all the way at the far end of the right side of the fairway. Sam Burns' feet aren't necessarily creating a lot of water, but the golf ball is sitting. You could probably go either way with whether or not you thought he deserves water relief. And Brendan, I think you had tweeted this, that Sam Burns says the rule needs to be changed probably, but understood as to why he was not getting relief. And he had asked for a second opinion there. So
he was good about that. I thought after he didn't come in.
He talked and he was, I remember him definitely making a point to go to media.
And he was
mad. I mean, even after he hits the shot, you can hear him on the broadcast muttering like that was in a puddle, and he hits a shot way left, ends up making double, and he's basically out of the golf tournament.
Yeah. Adam Scott, by the way, hard ejection, right? I mean,
hard ejection.
Just like there was like these dreams and hopes for like the old man. One more, he deserves more than one major on his resume, and he was done by the turn at least.
Where does Bob come in?
Bob makes a late shot, but he's playing out ahead of a lot.
Yeah, he's way ahead.
Yeah,
birdie's 17, I believe he pars 18, and he's sitting in at +1. So JJ Spawn gets to the 17th tee tied with Bob. Who's sitting there watching it. We can go there. Yeah. JJ ends up hitting an all-time tee shot on 17. The picture you just pulled up, PJ, of Bob applauding is when JJ Spawn ultimately makes the bomb on 18 to win. Bob handles that very graciously, but it is an all-time 2-hole stretch from JJ where he needs to get in. He needs to finish par for a playoff. And that's not the easiest task given the way Oakmont was playing. Instead, he finishes birdie to win by 2 and finish at 1 under par, which, the under par score prevails at Oakmont.
Yeah.
A lot of people taking shots at Oakmont members. It wasn't that hard. Other quotes. I was going to mention this one, Brendan, when you talked about Adam Scott. He said it was borderline unplayable. The water was so close to the surface. I don't know. It was like an aquaplane on the ground. It's a tough call, but we played. Everyone had to deal with it. So there's some grumbling. Sam Burns isn't thrilled. But the main, obviously, most important story, JJ Spawn prevails. And he has some really cool quotes after he wins. I was a young kid, wanted to play golf. It was a passion for me growing up. I'm skipping a little bit, but I wasn't really groomed to be a professional golfer. I didn't get put through academies. I didn't play the AJGA. I played local stuff. I didn't qualify for my first big USGA event. I did qualify. My first big USGA event was the US Junior. I did that 2 times when I was 16 or 17. That's when I kind of realized my potential. So it's this cool underdog story of a guy who grinds it out. And if you go back and watch, especially starting 5 over through 6, to end up coming out with the trophy is pretty unbelievable.
I mean, he went out in 40. Like, it was unbelievable.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a crazy,
I think
crazy
that's right.
turnaround.
He did. I remember. I think he might have been the first guy to ever go out in 40 on a Sunday and win a major. I think,
including a bad break, like the break that you think is like the death knell. Yeah.
It also wasn't just that, and I think that was my biggest revelation going back and rewatching. Like, he hit some pretty good shots. Like, he hits a good iron into 3, comes up a little short, rolls back, makes bogey, and like he didn't really miss many shots through the opening stretch. So just an impressive round. Other amusing quotes, Cam Young, he is just an underrated, awesome quote. His little flash quotes afterwards. PJ, do you remember any of this?
I honestly, I don't.
They say to him, Cam, it's a tight one out there. tell me about that round. What was it like for you? He said, I got off to a really nice start. Then I had no idea where the ball was going for about 12 holes. Then birdied 17 and lost by 2. They follow up. How did you handle the rain delay? How do you keep sharp? Cam says, just sit for an hour and hit a couple balls and go. It's not rocket science.
I remember that.
At the end of the back and forth, they say, is there something in his game, referring to Bob McIntyre? Because at that point, Bob's still live to win. Something in his game you think is particularly impressive. And Cam says, I don't really feel like talking about it, to be honest. They respond, he's probably going to win. Cam says, yeah, and I just lost by 2, so I'm more concerned about that than who's going to win.
It's a real,
yeah.
It's
I mean,
a
he
real
gets fired up, but
response.
he ended up losing by more than 2 because of the finish that JJ had. But most of the notes, those are most of the notes that I had. Unbelievable finish. I think JJ Spawn's birdie closeout kind of salvages what was otherwise a fairly uninspiring day of play. Like, that's what I most remember about it. And I'm curious what you guys think, but it was just sitting back and watching a lot of sloggy, kind of bad golf. Like, people weren't hitting good shots, with the exception of Bob McIntyre, who's one of the few people to record something under par on the final day. I don't know what other people's reflections are, but that was, going back and watching it, outside of JJ Spawn's finish and a little bit of Bob, it's not the most inspiring golf.
PJ did another That Rain video. I remember doing that outside.
During the rain,
actually, like when it was pouring outside the media center. I remember Beth Major, who runs USGA or helps run the USGA media operations, was like looking at me like a grown-ass man going outside to do this like bit video with PJ, and like, what are you guys doing? And like, I don't ask questions, and like we just stand there in the range, just like looking through the door, like, what are these idiots doing? That was funny. I remember that. That was Sunday during it. It was just, I mean, it was so much water. Crazy.
It was also the biggest raindrops I've ever seen in my life. It was huge.
Thick boy drops. I thought there was no way we were going to get done Sunday night, and we were just going to drive. I was going to go home. I don't think I was going to come in Monday and just drive back to Maryland. I just remember a lot of water, and I think JJ Spawn's final putt, like you're alluding, like you're insinuating, Joseph, kind of put a sizzle moment on an otherwise, sort of ho-hum weekend.
Yeah, he had a 2-putt from, it was over 60 feet. Victor Hovland goes first, kind of shows him the line, which JJ Spawn credits. Like, that was extremely helpful, and then drains it. Some cool stuff, like Josh Gregory.
Yep. His
coach had talked about, JJ had kind of referenced how Josh taught him how to read lies from the rough coming into the week, and that ended up being a significant advantage that he had. So there was some cool little stuff like that. JJ's celebration with his daughters was really cool. Like, it was heartwarming. But I think that was the finish did punctuate what was an otherwise kind of uninspiring day that I think a lot of people left. At least I'll put myself in this camp, kind of wondering what the future of Oakmont is as a major championship venue. Like, is it going to be, you're walking a fine line between it being entertaining, demanding golf and it being a little bit of a slog.
There was one thing with his daughters that, like, wasn't his one daughter sick and he was like running to CVS at 3 a.m. to get like medication for his daughter. JJ Spawn was, and it was
great recall.
That's it. JJ Spawn. Anything on NBC? I remember. No, nothing from them. Anything else? Kisner?
No, I don't remember much.
All right.
Nothing.
Good.
Nothing super. I mean, there was one point at the beginning when JJ's struggling so much that Smiley says, like, if he can just hit this ball anywhere on the green, he'll be happy with it. And like that was the level of the breakdown that JJ was having through 6 holes. So I think that's the biggest thing to remember.
Yep. All right. Scotty backdoors top 10 for sure. I mean, not backdoor. Like, just
Scotty misses a million putts. That's another. You go back and watch this. I know his strokes gained putting was positive, but he misses so many short range putts that that's another big takeaway. If you just look at the stats, you might not remember that, but the putting was bad.
I forgot about that whole like range session with Randy, where it was like half off, and he's gesticulating to and fro and very irritated. When was the lunch with the boys with the Josh?
That was Sunday.
Bureau?
We released,
Sunday.
There was something going on where we were a little. It might have been insensitive to release it on Saturday.
I think it was like maybe
potential riots.
There was a protest. Some
yeah,
protest in Philadelphia, and they were like, "Can we hold this?" And we were like, "I mean, I guess." It all worked out.
All right. That does it for year review part 7. PJ, is this part 7? Part 8. We're through the U.S. Open. I think by Sunday night, we're going to be through the Open Championship. I've been in this seat now for almost 3.5, 4 hours. I know it's not a 4-hour recording, but we've been in here. I'm going to get up and go move around, join the world. We appreciate your patronage, your support of the Shotgun Start, your support of Friday Golf. Join Friday Golf Club if you'd like to, show your support in other ways. Your review, it's an ass kicker to record them. It's an ass kicker to do the research. We obviously have a lot of fun doing them, and as hopefully the positive feedback's good to hear. I'm glad people are enjoying them. We'll be back. Do at least one more before Christmas. Enjoy them at your leisure over the next 2-3 weeks. We have no Kapalua, so we're giving you lots of hours to consume here, really until mid-January if you want it. So we'll be back Sunday night, Monday morning, part 9. Thank you all.